Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are super excited for session one of Blades in the Dark. And all of us are super excited to be evil scoundrels who just get that bread, make that money by
We're not
doing
evil.
I love
bad
bread.
things. Well, actually, just bakers. We're not. I've hacked the game and I've changed the scope.
Loaves in the dark.
Ooh, imagine if you were smugglers and you just smuggled things in bread. That would be cool.
We just smuggled things in. Exactly. There we go. We've changed the whole direction of the game. This is actually episode 0.5 because we've got to restart and remake everything for that amazing comments. But we did do a bunch of planning last session, and we're pretty much ready to dive in. So my name's Sean. I'll be the GM for this game. Probably know me from some of the other ones, but now I get to test my chops at running something, which has been a long time, so bear with me if it gets a little rough. And then we've also got 3 players for this game, which I think will be the perfect size. We have Abby as Sylph, Logan as Duchess, and Sarah as Ekko. So those are the code names for the 3 players, and we will get to know them shortly as we play the game. So we're actually going to do a cool little getting the group together kind of homebrew add-on that someone made. It's from The Missing Marvels of Mallory Morell. And the person who made it is amazing because they created this cool little thing, kind of like those opening shots from the Ocean's movie where they try to recruit all the members that are going to be part of the heist. And we'll be starting with a Duchess, aka Logan, who will be receiving a call from a certain someone that he knows relatively well, I think, by now.
Ooh,
So,
is this Amancio?
yes, this in fact might be Amancio. So, Duchess has grown bored and also a little desperate lately, I think, only because the funds are slowly running dry and she needs another source of income. When one day a postman, you hear a hurried knocking on the door, and a note is slipped under the door of your house. And within that note, you see a letter that reads, "Dearest Violette Araignée, it has been far too long since I've had the pleasure of your company, and I think there is much we need to catch up on. If you would please join me at the Golden Plum in 6 Towers, I would be more than happy to treat you to a meal and enjoy the pleasure of your company. Signed, Amancio." And this is a gentleman you know very well, having been a person of repute who makes his rounds within the social circles, and you know he's someone that you can trust relatively well. He's not going to
Well
sell
enough.
you out, but he probably won't hold your back if you get stuck in a corner. So Amancio has something ready and waiting for you.
Okay, well, I will put on my best outfit, which I wear around the house sometimes.
Which you wear every day, no matter what.
Every day. I have 4 copies of it. And I will head to the Golden Plum in 6 Towers. Not that far, I'd imagine. My estate is in 6 Towers.
Probably. You're used to the walk. You're used
My
to
estate. My dead husband's estate.
that you've slowly been selling off to cover your debts.
Yes.
But you're still able to live there, luckily. So traveling through sort of the dark streets of Doskvol, you're used to the sort of almost ghostly effect of the 6 Towers district. There's not much happening, just a few people scurrying about in the dark, hunched over themselves. Eerie sounds sort of emanate, and you can see fires and lights coming from different random areas and derelict, boarded up mansions. But it doesn't take too long before you find yourself in front of one of the few bustling, energetic, and sort of welcoming places within the Six Towers. The Golden Plum is known for being probably one of the finest dining establishments in all of Doskvol and run by a master chef. So people make the journey here from all over, from the wealthy areas of the city to come to this location. And standing near the door, you see a bit of a portly man dressed very finely in bright clothing. He's balding a little on the top, maybe thinning. He's kind of covered it over, doing his best, but definitely losing some of the hair on the top of his head. And he also has a very long, waxed, and highly trained mustache as well. And you recognize him immediately as Amancio. He's currently in deep conversation with a doorman by the Golden Plum.
I'll approach and I'll hold out my hand and allow him to kiss it. Be like, Amancio, dear, it's been so long. I've received your letter and I made such haste to come to such a fine establishment.
Oh,
I do hope you'll treat me well tonight.
he like immediately turns to you, and he's just this jovial, has a charming and face to him, and he kind of immediately is like, oh, Madame Araignée, it is a pleasure as always. And he does bend, he kisses your hand and kind of holds it maybe a little longer than necessary, but he's kind of the touchy-feely type. And he goes, it
Gross.
truly is a pleasure. I appreciate your haste, and I know it was a little last minute, but he kind of sidles over to you and is like, I know I have some lovely information that you cannot wait to hear. But first, doorman, please, usher us in. We are seating, correct, right? And the doorman looks very confused, like he does not, like he's like, yes, and then kind of like brings them on in. And you know that maybe Amancio, while very fine, is also a bit of a con man himself, so it's debatable if y'all actually have reservations for the Golden Plum.
That's fine with me.
But for people such as yourselves, this is, of course, no big stumbling block by any means.
I assume we're dining and dashing, so.
Oh, 100%. So you enter the Golden Plum, and it is, of course, like I said, one of the few bustling places. It's warm, it's lively, it's very fine. There's multiple diners, and you can tell many of them very wealthy, all scattered out with a couple more kind of middle class. You know, the Golden Plum is kind of at odds with its surroundings, so it does get a wide swath sort of clients. And this doorman does get you sat somehow through some fervent whispering with the people at the front of the restaurant. And eventually the two of you, while Amancio makes kind of just idle chatter with you, eventually you get sat real quickly. And he, as soon as you get sat, he says, of course, Madame Araignée, whatever you desire, please order as much as or as little as you see fit. I myself will be enjoying the pickled eel, I think, tonight. I've just had quite a hungering for it lately.
I think I'll do with a nice, just roasted mushroom. Keep it
yeah.
light.
Keep it light. Of
Hold
course,
the eel.
how you maintain such a lovely figure. But you know, myself, he kind of
you
pats
flatter me.
his stomach and it says, I just can't help myself. Food is one of those vices that I can never seem to stop myself from.
Everyone has their vice, Amancio.
This is true. And I know it seems to have been a little while since I've seen you at the opera. You used to frequent it.
I've had other things come up. No, do not worry for me. I've just had other issues, dealing with my dear husband's estate.
Yes, that estate. I'd also, you know me. I'm always got an ear to the ground, and I love to see what everyone's talking about. I've heard a lot of it's been sold off lately.
It's just such a large estate. I'm but a simple woman. I don't need it all. So yes, some of it's been sold off. I'm looking to maybe move into a more accommodations fit for a single woman.
More intimate, I'm sure. Such a large
Yes.
house just brings back bad memories, doesn't it? And
Yes,
it's
yes, and I
you
fear his
hate
ghost might be
exactly.
haunting around. So
The arcane forces are not to be messed with, dear, of course. Now, and of course, at this point, the waiter comes over, y'all order, you get a bottle of wine to share, and he kind of raises it real quickly and says, "A toast to friends." Clinks glasses, takes a sip, and says, "Now, to settle on to business, I do believe I might have a business proposition for you." And I mean, I hesitate to say business because a woman of your class does not, muddy her hands with something like business. But I've heard there is a job that a little more on the hush hush side of things, if you may say. Night market has recently been hit by a large, or maybe we should say, a missing item that's made waves. But those in charge of that missing item, those that may have procured what was once someone else's, these wraiths, we may say, they they they're looking for someone to maybe get rid of a little of the heat that they've acquired. There's some documents that the Bluecoats have been saving up as a way to bring a case about. And it's just you can't trust the court system in Doskvol. You and I both know it's a mess. But if those documents were to go missing or be destroyed,
it would be quite the tragedy for
it
the
would be a tragedy
justice
for
would just not be able to be carried out.
justice would not. And while we would hate for that to happen, I think some would be more than willing to make recompense for the effort that would take. Do you see what I mean?
I do.
Now, I know you are a professional as can be. So I think keeping it hush hush, of course. No, no few questions. I don't even get all the details, my dear. I don't. I really don't. So I can only pass on so much. But like I said, there's a certain sergeant in Night Market. Sorry, it's this wine. It's so good. In Night Market, who's been, like I said, gathering some documents, and there may be it. I really think it would be for the benefit of Night Market in general. The Bluecoats themselves can't be trusted, even. How would we know they're even building the right case? So, if those documents just wandered off, disappeared, were destroyed by any means necessary, I could maybe help you out with your opera.
Well, I might be able to scrounge up some time. The estate does handle itself to some extent.
Oh, of course, of course. There's no rush. I mean, of course, we don't want to take too long. We don't want to keep anyone waiting, but
I
we
mean,
do
I
have.
can scrounge up some time in the next day.
Of course, whatever suits your needs. But if I sort of set this aside just for you, I need you to know that I do need it taken care of. Okay?
Amancio, I would never disappoint.
Oh, I know that. I know, but I like to keep the air clear, of course.
I imagine this whole time, like, we're both talking around it, but it's clear that he knows I am out of money and
He
I
is
know that I am out of money. And so we're
yes,
both like, we're
he
talking around it,
does.
but it's very clear that I'm going to take this because I have nothing else to do and
Right.
no money.
I mean, he would let you turn it down, but he's at once trying to do you a favor, but it he also knows you're in a tight spot and he probably needs someone to take care of it too. So I think that settles it. Like from there on, he knows that you have this sort of job set aside. So I mean, he fills you in throughout the rest of the night on a couple of the finer details. Like I said, it's the wraiths. they've gathered a little more interest from the authorities than they'd like, and
And who
they
was
need
the sergeant that he had mentioned?
the sergeant. That is a great question. Who is sergeant? We'll say it is Sergeant Arthur,
Arthur. Okay.
who is head of a small contingency of Bluecoats within Night Market. Not he doesn't have maybe purview over all of Night Market, but specifically the race had recently performed a pretty impressive operation, and he's in charge of kind of getting it together. So they're looking for a little help to clear their name while they work on some other things.
Okay.
And
Well, go
Amancio
ahead.
you finish out the night, you have a lovely dinner, and before you know it, Amancio is ushering you out the door quite
Yes.
quickly, making excuses, and once you're outside and maybe a block away or so, he says, "Well, Madame Arnier, as always, it is wonderful to see you. I had a lovely dinner, and I will let our partners know that the job will be taken care of course. And don't be shy now. I'll try and keep in touch, but if you need anything, please, please, I promise you." He like grabs your hand and pats it a little bit. "Please, please, 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 let me know. You're like my own family, and I would hate for anything to happen. So please let me know if you need anything. But I'll be seeing you soon, dear." And kind of leaves.
I do like a nice little half curtsy.
He bows. Yeah, he kind of bows on his way out. All right. So now you have a job
I have a job and I have no team.
and no team. So let's see. Would you like to recruit one?
I would, yes. I think that I put my ear to the ground and I come across like a young girl who has just arrived back into Doskvol.
Yeah, you
And it
heard.
sounds like she has no real commitments, no ties, and I think I can
Mhm.
scoop her up.
Right, right. Yeah, there seems to be almost a shifter of some sorts. A girl working out of a Scotland tavern, no less, who also seems to be of Scotland territory, and she's been digging around a bit herself, so you can tell she's kind of got aspirations and interest in what's going on in Duskvol. And also, she's known for being able to really ply the secrets out of those around her, and especially the bar patrons. So she's gathered a little bit of a name for herself as the Ekko.
Okay.
So I think you would maybe find her most easily at that tavern.
Yeah.
So
I guess where are you, Ekko? You get to describe like where I come across you and how I
Yes.
heard of you.
So, yeah, the Three Eels is the tavern where I work part of the time, gather information, and also live in one of the rooms above, and I work to pay off some of my rent. And so I am playing the part of a good Scav girl, helping out my fellow Scofflands, and just passing out drinks. That busy night, it's probably a busy weekend, and I'm bustling to and fro between the Scavs and whatever drifters who are wanting a good drink. Um, and some hearty news, and so I'm flitting back and forth, listening here and there, and then I see a well-dressed, quite elegant dame walk
maybe a
through
little
the
out of
door.
place.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
Pretty
she's
out of
definitely out of place. This
But
is
she
like
doesn't look uncomfortable.
no, very confidently strolls through the door, and maybe I can kind of see a scan, like of the room.
And I imagine there's like other workers and like maybe one comes up to her and she's like, no, I'll be helped by her. And like you see her point at you and then like sits down.
Okay. And I know something's up when a fancy lady comes to your
The
inn.
sugar mama is in.
Fancy lady comes to your inn and points at you coming through the door. You know something's not quite right. So
Yeah.
she kind of goes up to the bar and grabs the finest wine and maybe also the normal beer and carries it over, walks up to the mystery madam, and
I think as kind of like leverage almost, Logan, from your ear to the ground, from the things you've heard, this Ekko has been asking a lot about the nobility in certain noble families. So you have an inkling that she's got some kind of interest in the noble families of Doskvol. And so I think that's kind of like your little
My in.
clencher. Yeah, exactly. Like that's your little like surprise tidbit of information that she doesn't realize you know.
Okay.
And I saunter up and I say, "Good eve, madam. What drink would you like to warm your bones this chill night?"
I have actually brought my own, and I bring out a bottle of very fine whiskey. And I was saying, I was actually hoping to order something off the menu. Would you please join me? Maybe take a break. Your compatriots look like they can handle it. And I look over at the people very clearly struggling to keep up with the amount of people.
Okay, and you're like in a shadowy, you picked, like a semi-lit corner, so I kind of, nod my head and I sit down in the shadowy corner and I pour myself a glass of refined wine.
And I'll like pour you a shot of whiskey too.
And I'm like, so, if you've come for your own drink, with your own drink, what are you interested in?
But I am interested in the one they call Ekko.
And why would that be?
Well, I just think that I have a proposition for them that they might not want to turn down.
Well, mistress, I know of no Ekko myself, but if I were to run across this Ekko, what sort of thing would they be interested in?
Well, I have come across some information that there is an investigation ongoing over a night market, and some are concerned that the vital papers will go missing, which will just be a great hindrance to justice, and it would be a disaster for those currently investigating.
So unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. And I am confident that I could do a score well solo, but one is lonely and two is a good number. So I just thought, there seems to be a new person in town, maybe looking for work, maybe trying to make a splash, and why not loop them in? They seem to have a skill set.
And what would be in it for Ekko?
Well, Ekko could certainly count on a large pay, more than one could make here, and I sort of look around the bar, and also, from what I've heard, more than they have currently been able to scrounge up in their time, doing some semblance of work. But also, I happen to have an ear in with the nobility, and I hear that might interest the one they call Ekko.
What exactly are your ties with the nobility, mistress?
Those
Are you a noble yourself?
Oh, noble is such a strong word. My ties are my own, and I don't share them willingly, but maybe in time, this Ekko might, if she proves herself to be of use, might find herself at a party of a certain lord she has been looking for.
Hmm. And when would this score, you say, be done?
Well, my contact told me that it needed to be done soon, so I'd imagine the day after tomorrow.
You don't have that strict of a time limit. So I was thinking like a week. So you do you have some time, so you can perform your sort of
Right now, we're on our way.
right now. We're picking up the other girl on the way.
Okay, and I think Ekko has heard enough, and she says, "I'll be sure to let Ekko know." And she takes a swig of the whiskey, slams it down, and underneath the whiskey is like an "I accept" note, and is like, "There you go." And she walks off, and she's like, "Good evening, mistress. I'm sure I'll be seeing you whenever you choose to join our fine establishment again."
Maybe not here, though. And I'll just take my shot of whiskey and I will walk out.
Mosey on out. All right. So you have recruited number 2 of the gang. Then now, so you've got kind of your voice, sort of the con man, the con woman, but you thinking maybe you need a little more help with the sort of grabbing and stealing, the sort of subterfuge of getting around, and you don't know if it's necessarily hiding somewhere, if it'll be in plain sight. So what if you have to get through locks? And I
Yes.
think you've heard there's a sort of a dancer almost who prowls through the streets, sort of doing these flowing sort of performance acts, and at the same time many of the watchers find out that suddenly their pockets have been emptied and their coin purses have been disappeared. So you've heard of a girl who seems to almost walk through air like a sylph herself, and that is the name she goes by. Sylph is kind of an another untaken talent prowling the streets of Doskvol. I think, I don't know. Where do you think you'd be in Silkshore, Sylph? Or I was thinking Charter Hall, which might have more wealthy people to entertain.
Would Charter Hall have like street performers?
It would probably be unusual.
What was the other place you said?
Silkshore,
Silkshore?
would have performers, I think.
That sounds better.
Silkshore, or you could be in Crowsfoot.
I think Silkshore is good. What kind of people frequent there?
It's the red light district.
Oh, perfect.
Silkshore's the red light and entertainment district.
Love it.
So it does have performers of other kinds.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So I think it's visited by lots of different people sort of discreetly. So if their purses go missing in Silkshore, they're not going to talk about it because of course it went missing in Silkshore. Like, why did you even, what were you expecting?
Right.
So, okay. So I think maybe you, let's see. You've gathered a crowd. You're kind of a nightly crowd, and you're performing one of these silk scarf dances, and perhaps the Duchess has sort of walked in towards the end of such a dance, as you've finished, and with her sharp eyes studying sort of the scenario, she's seen the little sleight of hands that you've done.
I think that I have like a very obvious coin purse sort of attached to me. And in it is just like a time and a location. maybe with some like copper pieces, like something not worth anything, but it's full, so it looks pretty. And I'm just gonna play up like talking to somebody very like not obvious, but like I look like a good target, and I look like I'm just very out of place. Like, oh, what is this noble lady doing here?
Naive
Like with
noble
her
woman.
with her purse out.
Little does she know.
Little does she know. But I'm supposed to know a secret about your character, Abby.
Oh, yeah, let's see a secret.
Oh.
And then I'll provide you with a virtue of my character.
True. We haven't really been following through. on
Does
this.
Duchess have any unvirtues? I think she's perfect.
She's perfect. No.
She's perfect. She doesn't have any detrimental kind of character personality traits.
Ooh, a secret.
Or just like, yeah, a little secret that I know about you. Sort of like that I can use leverage, like Ekko was looking for a noble or something.
Mm-hmm.
It could even be that you're in like a
I
ongoing
might
feud with that
offer
guy.
that. Yeah, I guess it could be the locksmith, or I might offer that the spirit wardens are looking for a missing warden, and maybe I don't know. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, I don't
That's a
know if
big
I would know
secret.
that.
Okay.
Maybe the locksmith. That seems like the most obvious good one.
And maybe like he's been working with the Bluecoats in Night Market, so I suspect like they might have locks made by him or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
And then I guess a virtue about my character that makes me worth working with. Let's see. I don't know. I think
you could make an argument for professional. I mean, that will be
yeah.
your gang, so maybe that's kind of at the heart of Violet's sort of modus operandi, or maybe not professional, but egalitarian.
Yes, I think it's more of like I would never like if I were to backstab somebody, they would probably be a man.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would never betray.
like I would help another woman more often than not.
Yeah.
Especially one that's like downtrodden or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like if they're a noble woman, like screw her, but
Since we're doing a wordless transaction, I think maybe Sylph has like heard that you recruited Ekko in like some way.
well, I was gonna like have a meeting with you at that time and location.
Okay.
Not like
So then
I'm
we
not
can have
giving
a-
you like the score information, just
Gotcha.
silently.
Cool. So
And it was gonna be in like 5 minutes or something, and like a block away,
sure.
like to get off the street.
Yeah. So you get a personal scarf dance, and then your bag disappears.
I sort of feign like, oh, where did my bag go?
And then a bunch of
asking-
other people look down. They're like, me too.
I do say we have a scoundrel on our midst.
And Sylph just like disappeared once you made this scene, and then shows up wherever the location was.
Okay. I imagine I'm like sitting, and then you just suddenly appear out
Yeah.
of like a
Darkness.
flutter of a scarf, and I'm just like, oh, what the heck?
Yeah, I imagine you guys go like Silk Shore is like especially known for all of its canals, so you kind of find a little hideaway alley. Like there's just a small little sort of bench hidden in the back end of an alley, maybe behind a brothel or something, and there's just a small little canal that's right in front of you. So it is very secluded, and you'd be able to see any boats or anything that might be
I feel like
running
it's like
by.
a walkway during the day or something, but at
Mhm.
night it's just sort of like an abandoned place. But there's like a park bench, and I'm probably like sitting on
Right.
that, like smoking a cigarette.
I was gonna say
something.
at most someone comes out for a smoke break at
Mhm.
this time of night.
And I'm
Like
just sitting down
maybe you
and
get to
there's-
this park bench and there's just a note on it.
Yeah.
Like your note that was in your bag. And on the other
Yeah.
side, the opposite side, it just says, I'm listening.
Okay, that's creepy. Well, I sit in silence for like probably 30 seconds, like lighting my cigarette or whatever, and take a few drags, and then just say, Sylph, I haven't. I have a prospect for you. You're clearly a talented woman to have even received my note in the first place. I'm planning a score, and I have use for someone of your talents. If you would like to be in on it, there's probably quite a pretty penny to be made. Also, maybe this is of interest to you, but I've heard that there's a certain locksmith who's been working with the Bluecoats, and he just seems like such a renowned locksmith. I fear I might not be able to bypass any of his security measures. So, if that's any use to you, what's his name?
Frank.
Frank.
I think he goes by a Frake or something of the such. Anyway, if you're interested, I give her the like meeting location or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know where. It's like,
yeah, I was gonna say, do you think you have your tower yet? I'm thinking maybe not.
no.
So maybe this first meeting will just be in your mansion, your derelict sort of.
I don't think I have it anymore. Like, I think that's
Oh,
why
estate.
Amancio offered me, because he knows, like, I literally that night was being evicted from my mansion, and so
Oh,
I'm
geez.
just on the
Okay.
streets now.
Yeah. Okay, maybe then you can borrow what is it, August's back room? The architect that you know?
Yes.
August, the master architect.
Yeah, or like for a planning location or something.
Okay, you do need a place to sleep because you can't sleep at your lair.
That's true.
Yeah, I know.
You can rent a room with me.
No, I told you I'd never go back.
You did.
I'm probably just like staying at some cheap dive, like that doesn't really cost anything, and
Mm-hmm.
or like I'm
Okay.
racking up a tab that I'm just gonna bail on
Right.
at
Okay.
like a Motel 6 or something, like not
Right, the
nice
Motel
at
6.
all. Or like the Motel 6 that went bankrupt and then someone else bought it and they're just running like a motel that is just for drugs, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like the only one staying there at this point.
So they don't even really care.
They rent rooms for like 15-minute intervals, and I'm like, I'll take the next 2 weeks.
So
and they're like, oh, no one's done that in a couple of years.
They don't even know how much to charge. They were just like, a number, and I'm like, I'll pay when I check out, and they're like, okay, thanks.
I think you
Alright.
get back to your motel and like sit down and you hear jingling and your coin purse is like back where it was, and there's another note in it just that says I'll be there, and that's it.
Okay. My Motel 6 towers.
Yes.
And I think for our two recruits, Duchess's sort of virtue is that she helps the downtrodden, or she doesn't kind of backstab women. So maybe you have heard of a servant girl who got moved to a better spot once Duchess found out about her situation, or you've heard of other little small acts of kindness that this one sort of lesser noble seems to do for women that she finds in trouble. So that's kind of how you've maybe heard through the grapevine of her virtues. Okay, so you've got a gang now, or you've recruited
Certainly
two
have
people
a
to
group of
hopefully
people.
start a gang. In a moment, we'll see if we can complete the first score. So now I guess we would officially, well, we've been in free play, but we finished our nice little setup guy, and you can basically do whatever you want. You can do free scenes where y'all interact with each other. So we could do a scene where you all get around the table and plan for a half second, or figure out maybe what scenes you want to do for gathering information, because you don't really have a lot of information. So you do need to maybe figure out a little bit more about what's going on before you dive in.
I feel like we don't really talk until the night of, but like we each have our own little information gathering method.
Yeah. Maybe while talking to them, you gave enough information, or maybe you sent letters that provided a little more information so that they can do their own sort of research. And that's almost another test, maybe, to see
It's
how
like,
well
are
you
you
can.
even worth it? And I don't actually tell them like the time or location. It's up to them to like figure it out somehow.
It's kind of to show like how invested they are and if they're good
Yeah.
enough to like figure out useful information on the way. But I think I would like everyone to try and do one sort of gather information scene. So let's go look at our books, because we don't know all the rules very well since we're learning still. So gathering information. Let's see. What is that under? You can just decide if you want to maybe survey a building, try and meet with someone who might have more information. And gather information doesn't necessarily have to have a role to it. It just depends on how difficult or how like hard to find the information is. If there's any
I think
plans you might want to look up.
I will pay a visit to Jaren, a Bluecoat archivist,
Ah, Jarend,
my
one of your
dead
contacts?
my dead husband's brother.
Oh.
The one who hates you?
Yes.
So you're going to pay a visit to him?
Yes.
I'm gonna pay a visit to him just to like scope out the place, maybe like see how the Bluecoats store documents.
Okay, yeah.
Or like go in and if he's not there, just be like, oh well, I'm here to see Jaren. Like
Maybe
and,
that's
like,
what you do. You specifically find a time when he's not there,
mm-hmm.
and then pretend to be like you're trying to find him.
Yes.
That makes maybe more sense to me.
Okay.
So, let's see. I think it's fairly common information. I think it depends how much information do you want to know. So, like, I think it's not hard. You find Jaren's, you know where it is. I mean, you knew
Or I
him
think I'll go to the one in Night Market. Like
Going to
I
the one
assume
in
that
Night-
there's like
yeah.
a precinct in Night Market.
Definitely.
And I'll
Yeah.
stop by and be like, oh, I'm here to see Jaren. And they're like, why would Jaren be here? And it's like, oh, I don't know. He just told me he was going to be here and back. And I'm like, he's certainly here. He wouldn't have been mistaken. And
Right,
like
the
I'm trying to
guards-
like, and like
Yeah.
we go and look for him. And during
Yeah.
that time, I'm like looking at the building, trying to
Exactly.
find things.
Okay,
And I'm like,
yeah.
oh well, he would be in the document room, and like trying to get them to take me there.
Okay, so that might be more difficult.
Yeah,
So
probably,
I
like,
think getting
aside.
around will be free. Like you
Yes.
could get a basic idea of the layout of everything for free. If you want to get into the document room, or maybe you're just very you're very persistent. You want to see every room. Like, where's Jaren? I was told to meet him. That's going to require a roll.
Okay, and I don't know them, so I would say like maybe sway, and my leverage is I'm looking for Jaren, and I
Yep,
know who that is,
yeah.
and they're like, okay, she's
And-
supposed to be here.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. So that means I get to set. I think your effect will be standard, and I think your position is I don't even really think it's risky. I would say controlled. Worst thing they're gonna do is really just kick you out.
I would still say risky.
You would
just
say
like
risky for that?
I don't know any of them. I'm just saying that I'm here.
Okay, yeah, we can go for that, and then they'll have an eye out for you.
Mhm.
Because
And I don't really have like a good
You're
I don't have a good advantage
right.
in this
Okay.
case. So I wouldn't say it. But then risky, standard.
So we'll do risky, standard, sway. Oh, 1. All right.
No.
Starting off good.
So we get our first 1. So you do
First
get
roll.
first official roll. Yeah, true. There's a bunch of other ones because
And I think for gather information rolls, it's just I don't get a lot of information. Like you don't do the actual like consequences and stuff. It's just like
no.
it
There's no
leaves
consequences.
more questions than
No.
answers.
Yeah, so this is how this is going to work out. Okay, so you go over there, you see 2 guards at the very front. So it's sort of a 3-story building in Night Market, and the very bottom, I'm going to tell you, this is me telling you all the information you gather basically. So at the bottom, at the entrance, there are 2 guards stationed there. You talk to them, you get them to at least bring you inside and kind of lead you around a little bit. They lead you through. The bottom is mainly like a mess area, kind of, as well as barracks, semi-barracks. So this place functions as both an office and a barracks. So there are a fairly large amount of Bluecoats in the building at any given moment. And they even take you out back where you see some training to try and see if you can find Jaren there. Then they sort of hesitantly take you upstairs to the second level, which you can see is mostly rooms, some offices, and maybe some storage areas. And then there is a 3rd floor, this is when you're like, but he could be in any of these rooms. Why, we need to look into everything. And the guards are like, no. 1, we don't know who you're talking about. 2, we don't know you. And 3, now you're just annoying us. So I think at that point they kick you out onto the street. So you know it's a 3-story building. The other thing I'll say is it did have windows, but it looked like they were locked or they had bars over them. Like it's fairly secure from most entrances. And it does have a lot of guards at any given moment. All right.
Okay.
Says information gather number 1. Do any of you lovely ladies have something you would like to do to gather information?
I want to try and be a new recruit.
Pretend to be a new recruit?
Yeah, I want a job as a
Okay. Okay. So you're planning a disguise?
Yes.
Or are you going to be okay, how are you going to play this?
I was thinking I have I kind of have like my normal clothes that I came to Doskvol in, which are like trousers, coat, blah blah blah. Disguise my hair, like dye it darker, and walk into the precinct or the barracks or whatever, and basically be like, oh, I'm newly arrived in the city and I'm looking for a job, and I hear Night Market is the place to be. I worked on ships before. I'm familiar with kind of like military things.
Okay. Can they tell you're Scotland?
I would say not overtly.
Okay.
Because I've dyed my hair.
Yeah, because that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's your goal then? Like, what? So you want to get recruited, but what are you actually trying to figure out? What information are you specifically trying to gather?
So, the information I would be gathering would be like the schedule of the guards / like how many people are like at different places at different times, like how it runs, like with personnel. Not necessarily like layout, because I don't think they might show you around as a new recruit and be like, oh, this is
probably
the
not much
room.
though.
But not as much. But it's more like, oh, there are
Timetables.
usually 20 guards at this in this precinct, or that kind of a thing, and identify like certain characters who may or may not be more persuadable than other ones.
Okay. I think what do you want to roll for that? Do you think?
So I was imagining it was kind of a sway role to like convince them to get me the job.
Uh-huh.
And then like after sway, it was pretty like standard information that like any new recruit would get. And
Okay.
or I could sway a particular person to like be like, hey,
I would
Right.
argue it might be even consort to
I
like
think
make
it
a
might
new
be more
contact.
Okay.
consort.
New contacts.
Sway, I would say, kind of what's your what leverage are you using with sway?
Chime.
Charm. I mean, that's valid. You're allowed to do that. That's an option. Yeah, I think consort does maybe make a little more sense because you're trying to be like friendly and be brought into their ranks. So I think you could do either or. I do think you're not going to get a lot of information for free from this one.
So
So
it
you're
doesn't
definitely
matter
going to have
either
to
way.
roll.
Yeah.
So which would you rather roll? Because you get to choose.
I'm better at sway.
Okay, so you're going to try and sway with the force of your personality.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to call that risky. We'll stick with risky standard. I was tempted to do limited, but we'll do risky standard.
Okay. And I mean, I could potentially be working while we're doing the score, was my other thought.
Okay, yeah. That could be a setup action that we do later, or a flashback or something.
Dun, 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 dun. No. Woof.
We're a little rough, little rough tonight. So okay, so here's how I think this plays out. You get over there, you go up to them, you're very charming, you do your best to try and get them on your side. And the first kind of like person you talk to is like, yeah, okay, I mean, sure, we always need Bluecoats. We always need more fodder basically for the streets. Though I'm sure he doesn't tell you that. And starts to kind of get you going. And starts telling you maybe a little bit. He tells you that, there are a lot of people here, but you'll probably, he tells you things like, okay, yeah, definitely, are you staying anywhere? Usually we have new recruits sleep in the building. So there's quarters for people. There's no strict schedules, or you'll have your patrol schedules, but other than that there's not really strict schedules, so you'll have your own time. And sometimes the guys like to go out to drink every now and then, or they bring some drinks back over here. But they like to stay in or have fun and sleep in the area, but we'll get you working bright and early next morning. And then Sergeant Arthur himself comes down and is like, who is this? And the guy tries to explain that you're a new recruit, and he's like, no, I do not need new recruits. I do not need this girl here. Get her out. You did not run this by me. And then you just get promptly kicked out. So yeah, we're not doing great. Abby, bring us home.
Abby,
I'm ready to not do great. I think
technically you can do more than one downtime action. You just have to try, or sorry, this isn't downtime. You can do more gather information. You just can't do the same thing.
I think I have two that I want to do then, if that's the case.
Let's start with one, see how that goes, and then decide. I don't want to spend too long doing gather information stuff, but if we're not getting anywhere, it could be bad.
Yeah, I'll do my more fun one. You can tell me if this is something that would not be useful either, but I think I want to see, like, scope it out and see if they have any like supernatural defenses or like anything to look out for.
Yeah, definitely. I think you can definitely try.
Great.
And I think depending on how that goes, we'll figure out what that means exactly. but I think yeah, you can always try to find supernatural stuff. So how are you doing that, and kind of what's the situation? Like, are you going at night? Are you just gonna
Definitely at night, and I'll probably just like watch them for a little bit to figure out what their patrol pattern is, and then go up to the building and just like try to attune to the field, like
almost,
there.
if you could like attune to the building?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think just free information. There is no ghosts in the area. There's no like spirit wells, there's no ghosts, there's no major arcane forces in the area. You do feel a small energy though, and I think if you roll for it, I can give
Yeah.
you more information about what that is.
Attune.
Yes, so it'll be attune, risky standard. So that's what we've been doing for everyone.
Ha!
2. Okay. So, yeah, your free information was there is no major ghost,
Yeah.
there's no major arcane defenses, it seems, or anything crazy happening. There is one there's like a little blip on your radar. There's something in the top office that is somehow connected to the ghost field, or like powered by arcane energies.
Mm-hmm.
It's not anything crazy because it's so small, but there is something in there that is arcane.
Yeah.
Or arcanely connected.
And then I think like there's a patrol change or something, and it's not worth it to.
Yeah, I think and you're just not getting any more information.
Yeah.
And someone starts walking around the building.
Cool.
Okay, so we are running a little rough. Did anyone else have an idea for
My other ploy is that, Sergeant Giles was the one who tried to recruit me, and he mentioned that people go out for drinks nearby, and I think I could loiter around that bar and see if he comes, since he already knows who I am, and see if like we can strike up a conversation. And it would be kind of like, oh, has it all, like, it's one of those things where I'm pulling information out of him, like,
by talking to him.
By talking, like, has it always been this way?
Right.
Author is kind of a hard ass. What's that about?
Yeah. Okay. I think, I said y'all had about a week. So yeah, I think maybe you stake out one of the nearby taverns for a little bit, and you see that a lot of the Bluecoats from that area go there. And eventually one night, Sergeant Giles does head in to have a night drinking with the boys after a hard day's work. And so you go in, you see he's been down there drinking, he's with the other guys. It's up to you how you want to handle it from there. If you just go over there and talk to him, so what is your goal? I'm trying to keep it relatively specific, always, on what your end goal is, like what information specifically you want to gather. So what's your kind of end information goal this time?
This time it seems like there's division in the potentially like division within the ranks, or like who's calling the shots. Like, is it like,
so you want to learn more about like Sergeant Arthur, kind of
like Sergeant Arthur, like how he thinks, like what is he protecting, like why did he not let a new recruit come in, like is there a reason more than just being like a power maniac kind of a thing? And
okay, so I think you go over, let's see, how about you roll? Do you want to roll, or do you want me to just tell you the basic info?
Dare I put it up to chance?
Yeah, I mean, you don't really lose anything by rolling, I don't think.
That's true. Sure, let's roll. Let's make it fun. Famous last words.
Yeah. Okay, so what did you want to roll, though?
I'll do consort this time.
Consort, sure. And I'll say it's risky standard again.
Risky standard. Et voila.
Oh, Jesus.
How is
Okay.
this possible?
Hopefully we're getting all these out of the way. So you go over to Giles and his group, and he's kind of like, who are you again? And then you remind him slowly about you trying to get a job over there, and he's like, oh yeah, the new recruit. Yeah, fucking Sergeant's such a hard ass, but I mean, what can you do? He's in charge, so sorry about that. Hope you find something else if you're really looking for work. Y'all get talking for a little bit, and he does let you know that the sergeant's kind of been under a lot of pressure lately with how the wraiths and what they've done recently. So it seems like his position's kind of precarious. So if something bad were to happen, maybe he would be replaced. But other than that, he doesn't really give you too much.
Okay.
All you get is a lot of complaining about him and about the crime and how hard their job is, even though they don't actually work that hard, and they take lots of
Poor
bribes.
boys. Poor boys. The bribes aren't as good these days.
The bribes aren't as good as they used to be these days. The extortion racket just gets harder and harder as a lawbringer. All right.
Cool.
Did anyone else want to try something? Abby, you said you had 2 ideas.
I could, but it's okay, I think.
You think it's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to take a quick 5-minute break before we kind of dive into the score?
Yeah.
I think that would be good. I need a
Cool.
little bit of water, I think.
Okay, we'll go to
All right.
break and we'll come back at the 5-minute mark, hopefully.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll see you in just a sec, guys. Thank you.
And we're back.
Hello and welcome back. Thank you. We are ready to dive into our first score. So the information gathering did not go great, but the team will rally and we will strike gold, hopefully. So, the first thing for a score is that you need to decide kind of what you're gonna do. There's 6 different plans that you can choose from. So what is our plan for this score?
I feel like the obvious choice is stealth, but I'm gonna propose a counter option.
I kind of really want to do social.
I feel like it should be social, and
Yeah.
our point of connection is Ekko going back with this, going back to the barracks with this guard after he's spent a night drinking, and then once he passes out, she goes and lets us in.
I can do that. Seduction.
Oh, maybe.
Sort of.
I also
imagine
have a blue coat
Or
contact.
Or even I get him so drunk he needs someone to carry him home.
Yeah. Or you have
Yeah.
a blue coat contact.
Yeah, I
Who's
do.
that?
Darmot.
Oh, I don't like his name.
Darmot.
Yeah, he doesn't have it. Darmo? No, Darmot.
Darmo. Very French.
He sounds like a Rocky Mountain animal, like a marmot.
Sounds like a mole or something.
There's a
mole.
marmot.
Oh, marmot. That's why.
Or it's darn it.
Well,
I
we've
think-
ruined his name. We can't use him for this score.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
yeah, okay, we're done. I think you could either do deception, stealth, or social.
Oh,
So-
deception is good too.
Deception is
Yeah.
lure, trick, or manipulate, which I think could also be good.
I
You'd
think
have to have a method for deceiving.
if we used
Yeah.
Ekko, it would be deception. If we used
Yeah.
Garment, I think it'd be connection.
Social, yeah. I agree.
It doesn't matter, whichever.
What
you
kind of
prefer.
information do we have? We know there's a little bit of magic.
Basic layout.
The basic
Yeah.
layout.
You've got the basic layout, kind of a basic timetable. There's something small and magical, in there. And the sergeant's in a precarious position. So he's vulnerable potentially in some way.
I'm gonna take a quick pause and say Kenny has joined us in chat, and he just joined. So can we detail the score a little bit, like give a summary from the first half?
Yeah, definitely. So our score is that the Wraiths who are normally in control of Night Market. They're the gang in control at the moment. They recently pulled off a pretty big score, and they've kind of gained a lot of heat and a lot of attention from the authorities. So they are currently trying to rid themselves of some of that by getting rid of some documents that have been gathered in a file that's been built against them. So they want to get rid of all those files in hopes that it will buy them some more time, or at least or get the Bluecoats off their back a little bit.
Other than
So-
that, you pretty much missed 4 failed information gathering
Yeah.
rolls.
Yeah,
Bad-
the only
bad
other
times.
interesting thing you missed was failure.
So many twos.
So much
Uh,
attempt, so little success.
Yeah. Yep, luck was not on your side.
We're gonna all have like 4 trauma by the end of the night. So.
Yeah.
I
Don't say that.
I think deception is a good one. I think social, you'll have to make a bargain with
Yeah.
Dermot.
I think
of some
deception is
kind.
probably the strongest, or stealth would make sense too. But I like deception.
Stealth is
I like
good, but you don't have a
deception.
point of infiltration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is the only problem. Okay, so deception. And the method of deception?
Do we want
is-
me to get into the barracks?
100%, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think that can work. So that, I think, will be the engagement roll. But we'll get there in 1 second. You need to pick your loadout for the scene.
I'll do
So
5.
how
Normal.
much do you want to be able to carry in terms of item?
I'm gonna go. I probably will go light since I'm supposed to look
Yeah.
convincing,
That
Makes
would-
I'll,
sense.
I'll go normal as well.
and just like loadout is how many items you can carry.
Yep.
But you don't pick them now. You pick
Yeah.
them as you use them.
Correct.
And for us looking at the things, some of them cost 0 load, and those are italicized.
Yes.
Mhm.
Don't they say, or does it
No.
not tell you
No,
directly?
not in the book. Yes, in the roll
In the
20
character
it does
sheet.
not.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yes. Yeah. So basically you can have those no matter what. Okay, so someone will need to roll for engagement, which the engagement roll basically drops us right into the action and will get us started.
I feel like
We
Ekko
can-
is the obvious.
Yeah.
Echo. I guess Echo
Ekko,
should
how's
be
it
the
It just
one
going
to
for
do
makes
it.
you?
me so nervous. What should I roll for engagement?
It's a
That is-
fortune roll.
It's a 1d fortune roll, but we can weigh some pros and cons if you want to make arguments for why you should get a +1, or I could do a -1 if I felt like it.
I mean, can I say +1 because we've like made a connection? I listened to all their griping. Like we feel like there's a certain level of kind of like trust,
Camaraderie.
camaraderie.
I'll
Or we
give
can
you-
argue
And she's
that I
getting
get
him really
him.
drunk.
I'm getting
I will
him
give
really
you a
drunk.
+1d because you're getting him really drunk.
Yeah.
Is gonna be.
I'm
the
just
ideal
gonna,
here.
you know, the whole point is like me buying him drinks.
I'm gonna
so
give
that
you a
he-
+1. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you.
Just to be like,
yeah.
yeah, man, you have it rough.
I feel like though we actually do also get minus because they're higher tier than us.
Well, this is only one outpost, so higher tier doesn't necessarily mean you directly. You always get a -1d. This isn't like a particularly wealthy outpost or like a stronghold, so I don't think it's going to be completely up to tier.
What
for
is its tier?
The Bluecoats, I think, are tier 3 in general.
Okay.
which that would be really bad.
Yeah.
If you had to contend with tier 3 stuff the entire way through. So no,
I
I
think
think this.
Our plan exposes a vulnerability, though, because this one guy is going to get drunk, and we know that he doesn't like the captain.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
that-
think that is the +1 that I'm giving you
Mhm.
at the moment. I'm tempted to give you a -1, but y'all's rolls have been really rough, so we'll stick
Don't
with
listen to
+1.
that temptation.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
The 2 dice are not going to matter because it's going to be a 2 and a 3. So
Yeah.
We're gonna do
Abby,
it. Let's
so
get
little
in
faith.
there. Roll that engagement.
Roll fortune, 2 die.
Yep.
Come on, big money.
Okay.
2 and a
Okay.
5. There we go. Okay, so 5. We get a mixed result. You're in a risky position when the action starts. Okay. So I think this is you kind of keep him talking, you keep Giles sort of distracted and complaining to you, and eventually all the other guys go back. They're just like, okay, we're done. We've drank plenty enough. We know Giles just likes to go on and on about all this crap, so whatever, you can take care of him, girl. Like, we're done. Okay, and then you proceed to get him completely hammered, and then he's like, oh gosh, I've got to get back. I mean, what time is it even? And then like you kind of, have him hoisted onto your shoulder, holding him up and get him back.
I tell him maybe it's later than it actually is. I'm like, oh yeah, you're out of
r-
time, man.
yeah, and he's in a bit of a rush now. He's like, oh, I've got an early patrol tomorrow. I gotta get to bed.
Yeah.
And so you get in there and you you get in and you get him into the barracks, but now you're kind of stranded. The other guys for the most part are sleeping. He's just tumbled into bed, completely oblivious. There's no guards outside at the moment, but you're cut off from your other 2 compatriots.
Okay. I helped him take his jacket and his shoes off.
His jacket and his shoes. Okay.
I take the jacket, which is like his blue coat. He went for a drink after
Okay.
his beat. So I take, like his jacket and maybe his baton, leave the shoes, and I kind of sneak my way up to the front entrance.
To the front. Okay.
Mhm.
So there's no guards on duty at the front because it's nighttime. But you do know there are some people awake and about in the building.
Mhm.
Not necessarily patrolling specifically, but you've heard soft voices, people talking, some people doing late night work probably of some kind. And you don't know where Sergeant Arthur is. So
God, Sergeant Arthur.
So, do
So
you just want to bring him in the front door?
You could let us in
Yes.
from a window, like throw a rope down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned some of them were barred and some of them were locked, but they're locked from the inside. So
Yeah. I'll unlock a window that is kind of like around the corner from the main street.
okay,
So
from the second floor.
From the second floor. I'm assuming the first floor would have bars on it, whereas the second
Yeah,
floor wouldn't.
yeah, second floor is less like Okay, so
And he's a higher ranking official, so he like maybe has a higher, like his bedroom is in a nicer office.
yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
So I open a window and like stick my head out and I, kind of do like a side, like street whistle, like,
Yeah.
or enough to sound like not loud enough, but kind of like it sounds like it could be somebody whistling on the street,
Okay.
to get Sylph's attention, so they know where to enter.
Cool. You're on the second floor?
Hmm.
Okay, I will pull out some light climbing gear. And throw up a grappling hook to hook on the window so we can get up.
Okay. I think y'all are gonna need a roll for something along the way there.
Mm-hmm.
Either sneaking by or Ekko needs to be convincing in her outfit so no one bothers her.
Mm-hmm.
Or something for the climbing up, because that's a lot of actions we just did.
I think Ekko should definitely make a roll.
So I have a skill called Cloak and Dagger.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you use a disguise or other form of covert misdirection, you get 1d to rolls to confuse or deflect suspicion.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this would count in that sense. I would get an extra
Yeah.
roll.
Okay. So I think you're about to. So what happens is, you're trying. So your goal is to get upstairs to open a door so everyone else,
Mhm.
or open a window so everyone else can get in. So what happens is you dump off Giles in the bedroom, in the barracks, yeah, to his cot basically. Grab some of his stuff. Everyone in there's sleeping and hungover and drunk, so they're not really paying attention. You get out and you're walking down when suddenly one of the side doors opens and another blue coat walks out, looks at you, and is like, "What? Hey, what are you doing up? Who are you?"
And I'm like, new transfer, sir.
New
just come in from
transfer.
just come in from the Silk Shore district.
Oh, huh. I don't remember the sergeant telling me about that. So I'm gonna need you to make a roll. What
Okay.
would you to deflect suspicion?
Yeah, I would say it would be a sway.
Okay.
In the sense that I'm like, yeah, that just happened. This, Sergeant Arthur's been so stressed lately. He asked for more recruits and he wanted to keep it on the, on the down low since, he doesn't want people to know that there's unrest in the night market.
Mm,
Um, you can see, you can ask him about it in the morning.
yeah.
I'm there's going to
Okay.
be a full brief then.
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of be like, oh
He looks a little
yes.
confused, but is kind of nodding along, like, okay, that makes sense, I guess, to what I know. And
Hmm.
you're in the getup, so I think it's gonna be just risky standard again to
Hmm.
kind of deflect him off, and he's gonna just go about his business, and you'll be on your way.
Risky standard plus 1 bonus die
Plus 1 bonus die because you're
because I'm in
deflecting
disguise.
suspicion in disguise.
Ba, 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 ba.
Hey, a
Hey.
6. Awesome. Okay. So you get exactly what you want, basically. Yay, finally. Finally
These aren't the
happened.
Our
droids.
first 6.
Yes.
First 6 after all those not so good rolls. Okay, so you do it with no problem. He looks at you up and down and is like, all right, well, I guess the sergeant doesn't need to tell us everything. Uh, I'll see you in the morning then. Good luck. It has been a little crazy around here lately, but I'll see you around. And he kind of heads on his way back towards. Actually, he was heading out. I think he's about to go on patrol for something, and he's left the building. And so you make your way upstairs, no problem. I mean, there's maybe 1 or 2 lights on in some of the side rooms, but nothing crazy. Make your way over to your window, crack it open, and get everyone inside like you said. So now all of you are in the building. What will you do?
Yes. So did I figure out They didn't show me where the document room was, did they?
You have no idea, unfortunately. This is your main dilemma. You do not know where the documents are at all.
Can I flashback
Of
to
course.
when I spoke with August, my master architect, to try and
Mhm.
get the plans for this building?
Yeah.
Or maybe not even maybe a Bluecoat building at some point. Maybe he didn't have this one. To try
Mhm.
and figure out where they would keep documents, maybe like on the top floor. Do they have a lot of them, like a
Yeah.
library?
Okay. So we'll do flashback. Do I think?
I don't know if this would be like study or consort.
Yeah. I think it's going to be I- that. Well, it's up to you. I mean, I think.
I have 2 dots in either, so it doesn't make that big of a difference.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to say what I think I mean the position for both is just controlled or whatever, but the effect I think from your role is going to be limited from consort and
Okay.
maybe standard um study.
Okay, can I push myself to have +1 effect on study?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
I
so
do think it's gonna be a one stress flashback.
and then it's 1 stress for pushing
Pushing your
yourself?
no,
It's
pushing
2 to
yourself
push
is
yourself.
2 stress,
Okay,
which
let's
makes
do it.
stress a little more or pushing yourself a little more difficult.
So I'm controlled and great effect.
And you are at great effect.
um, perfect. And I don't think I get any. Okay. A 4.
A 4. Okay. So I think you do find the August is kind of like I'm a little busy right now. I'm working on a big project. You can just go through my records and see if you find anything. And so you do. You're on your own, which isn't great, but you do find documents that show kind of the typical layout for the guardsmen and how they like to set things up. And basically it boils down to there's usually one file room that they do keep all the major files in, and then the top is usually special offices, so that's probably where Sergeant Arthur has his place, as well as any other special like high priority things go up there. So you're thinking it's either in the file room or it's in his office, um, but you do not know which.
Could I pinpoint that blip that I sensed before with my attune?
Yeah, definitely. I'd give you probably controlled standard because you've done it before, so you know what you're doing.
To clarify, was that my complication or reduced effect?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think I would say for that.
This is a present day attune for me.
Yeah,
Controlled standard. Nah, 3.
3. Okay. So hmm. Okay. Okay. So a complication for you. Because you've already done this, I'll give you this. You know that the blip is on the upper level
Yeah.
because now you're inside the building, so you can kind of better tell height. So
Mm-hmm.
you know it's on the upper level. Complication, we're gonna start a
Ooh.
6
Okay.
count clock. Tag in one thing, and it's gonna be guards are alerted. Guards alerted. So you do this attunement. It just doesn't go right, and it almost gives you like you get that blip, and then the blip fights back almost, and you kind of get shocked and like jolted into a wall, and there's like a bump, and you hear a couple people like maybe stop scratching at whatever they're writing, little like and then maybe a couple guys downstairs shuffle in their sleep, disturbed a little bit. So now you guys have a running clock for the guards.
Get it together, Sylph.
She's just like, she gets bumped into this wall. She's just sitting there, like, growling under her breath.
Like doubting my, should I about this girl? But I say in like a whisper, Arthur's room will probably be on the top floor. And then where did you say they would keep the documents? Did you say that was also on the top floor?
There's 2 layers.
There's
There's a file room that would be normally on the 2nd floor. So
Okay.
that would normally be on your floor.
Okay.
And then there is the possibility that it's in a high sensitivity room,
Mhm.
and that would be on the 3rd floor.
Okay. The file room's on the 2nd floor, so we need to get there quickly and silently. And I will try to navigate us there based on what I saw of the blueprint, but maybe
Yeah.
leading a
Lead
group prowl.
action.
Do you want
Yeah,
me to
I-
lead?
Yeah,
You've already spent 3 stress.
that's yep.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be spending as much stress. Yeah,
But
I
you're
think it'll
better
be a
at
prowl.
prowl,
Yes.
so maybe Ekko should lead it.
I should always lead prowl.
Despite being the worst.
I
at
mean,
it,
that's not a bad idea.
no. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
So I'll be like, follow me, and it'll
And
look
remember,
like
you
I'm
guys can
leading
resist
you.
any of these consequences.
Yep.
So don't be afraid to if you
But
don't
it
like
causes
it.
stress, Sean.
I know.
Logan,
I'm trying to ease us
stressed.
in, so I'm not going too hard.
For group actions, the
stress cost is based on your failures. So you all just roll the ability, the action.
Mm-hmm.
position
And
and
then-
effect don't matter.
There is a position in effect, I think, like
Or is it-
usual. So I do need to set that. I think it's just risky standard
Okay.
because
I'm gonna be
you-
like, you guys look like you're with me, essentially.
Hey.
5. Okay,
does make
success.
So what at risky standard?
Yes, do a risky standard.
And does
Roll.
Ekko also roll when she's leading it?
Everyone
Yes.
rolls.
Okay.
But
Risky
she doesn't
standard.
take stress for herself, so that's good.
Okay. So you won't
And
take any stress for this then.
I only do 1 die for this.
You do. You're untrained,
However many-
right? So you
2
roll
die
2
and take
and
the
then take
lowest.
the lower. Yeah.
Which
Okay.
that was lucky. Too bad you didn't get that sick. Okay. So, you guys all you get through. Not too bad. A little bumbling around, but you do make it to the file room, and I'm gonna say, let's see. I think I'm gonna put you all in a slightly more precarious position. So, you've just made it to the file room, and you hear a chair kind of screech back as if someone's about to get up and may have heard movement, and you think someone may be entering the hallway like right away. So you're kind of in a desperate position to get either in the file room, to do something else.
I would like to. You're muted, Logan. Okay. I want to flash back to speaking with Darmot.
I will
Since-
say, I
yeah.
forgot to mention, you get to the file room. The file room is locked.
Oh.
That was an important piece of information that stayed in my head. So
That
y'all
feels
made
like,
your
why don't
prowl.
we go in?
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
you
I
made
know.
your
Wait, why?
prowl. You get to the file room. You kind of give it a little click, and it's obviously locked.
Yeah.
And then that's when you hear a screech, and you're a bit under a time crunch now.
Yeah. So I flash back to speaking with Darmot since he's a blue coat.
Okay.
And I think if possible, like I got him in on this, like maybe he works in a different district and he also has something against the Sergeant Arthur. Like nobody likes Sergeant Arthur. So Darmit like gets in on this, and like all we're taking is the papers, which will kind of ruin Arthur's day.
Right.
So
It doesn't
Darmit's
really
interested
affect
in
anyone
this,
else.
and like maybe he'll get maybe he's up for promotion or something somewhere else.
I was gonna
Yeah.
assist with this and say like, oh, I had spoken to Darmit and said like it would look really bad for the sergeant if these papers went missing under his watch.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? So, yeah, like Darmit knows the papers are going to go missing, so he's going to bring it to a higher up's attention that something's wrong and maybe Arthur's taking too long, because Arthur's not going to let anyone know right away that the papers are gone. He's going to try and cover his ass.
Right.
So Darmit's going to like expose him, and yeah, that'll I think that will actually be 0 stress since it works in Darmit's favor.
Sure.
That's something he would be willing to help with.
Cool.
So,
And I
did
was
he-
mechanically assisting, by the way.
you were mechanically assisting.
If
Did
we
you
don't
wanna-
have to
Free
roll, then you
assist?
don't have to, though, right?
No, you still need to roll.
Oh, okay.
So it's a 0
Oh, it's
stress.
0 stress, but okay.
It's a 0 stress for the flashback, but then we still need to roll
Gotcha.
to get Darmit to see how much Darmit helps, basically. So what do you want to roll to get Darmit's help for?
I think consort, even though I'm not good at it. Makes the most sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Consort. So I would give it I'd give it just risky standard
Okay.
for you.
Plus the assist.
Yeah.
Plus you get your assist bonus, which normally would cost stress, but Logan's character has a special ability that lets her assist twice for no stress,
Yes, I took foresight off the spider path.
which is pretty nice. Those extra die come in handy.
Do you have a devil's bargain for me, Sean?
Oh, okay. A devil's bargain.
Maybe
Or
like
anybody?
Darmit
Yeah.
mentions it and we get heat because he's like, oh, like
He's
he just
too
mentions the
obvious about
document
knowing it.
offhand, and someone's like, why would the documents go missing or something like that? Like he just mentions it offhand, and so
Yeah, he's not like.
How
discreet.
about this? Yeah, I don't know if it would be more heat, but how about yeah, he loses. How about you lose Darmit as a contact for a while?
For a while?
Like, yeah.
Can we
for,
like do like a
score or
clock
two.
and I have to get him back?
like a downtime clock, like
Yeah,
a 4
yeah,
o'clock
yeah.
or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, a 4 o'clock to get him back. Because what I'm thinking is like, yeah, he's under scrutiny too, even though he
Mhm.
maybe got the raise. So it's like he can't afford to be
Be in
consorting with
contact.
you
Yeah,
again.
yeah. Cool.
Because
Get back in Darmit's good graces.
right. So
You need
to
like more
either
time to like
relieve the investigation on him, or get him more on your good side, or something.
Yeah. I like it. I will
Does that
take
sound
it.
good? Okay.
Yes. So here, bonus dice 2. 5. Nice.
All right. You had 2
And-
bonus. What did you have? 0 in consort?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 5. Yeah,
we
you
needed the
that.
assist.
You needed that big time. Okay. So
Wait, do you have 0 in consort?
yeah.
Oh god.
I think we were bad, and we never specified exactly what you wanted him to do.
I want him to like show up and be like cover for us, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
So-
maybe he's the person and he heard us, so he knows it's
right.
time to show
Exactly.
up.
So the door opens. Y'all are all like, "Oh my god, what are we gonna do? We don't have time to pick this lock." Darmit like peeks his head out, sees that it's you guys, gives you kind of like a little nod, and then maybe like saunters over to the stairwell and kind of just just
Takes
rests against the
position, yeah.
wall, and he's kind of like get
Go
on,
ahead.
hurry up.
Cool.
Like I'll keep watch and try and distract someone, but that's it. You do have a consequence for that, though.
Darn, 5.
Actually, I think I'll just tie it in kind of to that devil's bargain, because I think losing Dharma is a pretty big deal. But I'm actually going to make it a 6 o'clock.
Okay,
instead of a
okay.
4
I'll
o'clock.
change it. Is there a
'Cause
way to update it?
I think you have to delete it and remake it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because losing Dharmit's, that's a pretty big consequence. in
No,
my opinion.
that's cool.
But
And
it'll
this-
be a little
Oops.
harder to get him back now.
This door is locked, so we're gonna need you again, Sylph.
Yes, it is locked. So you've saved them from that, unless someone else has a flashback they want to do, or you could do
I
another group
mean-
action.
I don't know if this is a flashback, but I can check the pockets of the coat I'm in and see if there are any keys.
You're just carrying your coat around.
That could be a
No,
flashback.
I'm wearing it. I'm wearing his coat.
Oh yeah, you could just flashback to stealing
I'll say that's
his
a
keys.
flashback to when you were dropping off Giles the first time. You also rifled through people's coats for keys, not just his, but others, in case maybe you're missing something.
Okay.
So that, I will say, 0 stress, because it was an easy opportunity for you, but you will need to
Perfect.
roll for it still. And what would you like to roll?
Finesse or study? I'm not sure. I have the same either way, so it's kind of semantics.
I was going to say, yeah, maybe finesse or prowl.
I think
I would
finesse
say
is more sleight of hand.
Yeah,
Finesse
I
is
think
sleight of
finesse
hand.
says taking an item from someone's pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're doing it stealthily, it could be prowl.
I'm
We
Okay,
don't want
so
prowl.
I'm no prowling for me.
I'm just
I
putting it
don't
out there.
prowl because I'm in disguise.
No worries. Okay, so
So
yeah.
I'll roll.
Oh, and I guess you're in disguise too. Okay, so I'll give you I'll actually give you controlled standard
Standard.
for your action
Okay.
to finesse.
And no bonus dice.
You're not deflecting suspicion or anything,
Okay.
so you don't get that bonus. Your bonus here
Fingers.
is the controlled.
Nice.
5. Okay. So
So nice to achieve things.
yeah, I know. You got them all out the way, hopefully. Okay, so you get that done, and you do find a key. Actually, let's say you find 2 keys. You're not necessarily sure where they go to, but
For
you have
this,
2
you could
keys
always
now.
have us mark that clock that we
I
have
am,
going.
yeah. So you're gonna mark 1 more on your clock
Okay.
of the guards find you. All your rifling, while it was pretty stealthy, it did lighten the sleep of the guys downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're
Okay.
at 2 out of 6 for guards alerted. Okay, but now Ekko has 2 keys that can be used in the building.
Can I give them to I look at Sylph and Sylph, I have these keys. Can you tell which one goes in the lock? You're a lock girl.
I think I just try them both. I don't.
Yeah.
She's
try
so
both
practical.
No, these are one-use keys.
50-50.
They
I was
break
trying to limit our
immediately.
time. We try both
Okay,
keys.
you try both keys. One of them works, obviously, and you get into the file room. It is kind of a mess. It's dark in here. There's no light at the moment, so you're just getting a little bit from the hallway. It's dark, kind of dusty and musty, and there are a lot of files. Some of them half opened and scattered over a couple different desks. Some of them are neatly filed away, but there's just a lot of papers everywhere. So it could be in here somewhere.
Is there an area that looks more secure than others, like a locked cabinet or something?
This one actually doesn't. No, everything's just pretty much the same. I mean, there's the one thing is that the window's got some bars on it, so no one can come in from the inside. outside to get in. But for the most part, everything else is just stacked on bookcases, or pulled out onto desks.
Does it look like it's been previously ransacked, or is it just untidy?
No, it doesn't look ransacked. It looks just used and carelessly done. Um, if you want to look more closely, you could roll for it.
Yeah, I think I'll start rifling through. I know the name, I think, of the person we're looking for, so I'll just try and find documents related to that.
Can I assist?
Yeah.
Or
of
this could
course.
be, I could lead a group action.
Ooh, I like a
Ooh,
group action.
group action.
Could you lead though, since you have the most stress at the moment, Logan?
What?
What is it going to be? Is it going to be
You
study,
have the most
survey?
stress.
Yeah,
What's
that's
the
fine.
role?
I live a stressful life, Sean.
Okay. That you guys always get to decide the role.
I think this would be survey because we're looking through a large amount of stuff
Okay,
for
yeah, I
something
think so too.
specific.
I
The
would give you
survey is
survey
my
or
worst.
study.
I have 0 in study, though.
So it doesn't matter. I have
That's
0 in
fine.
survey.
Just-
Yeah,
Gabby
that's
has
true.
0 in study, so it's
Just
Well,
don't
Duchess
roll
has
low.
2 in study. Right?
Y'all guys, you don't have to do a group action.
But they're more fun, Sean.
Okay, I'm just letting you know. You don't have to. Someone could just assist with an individual action. Let me see if there's any other teamwork ones that might be applicable. You could try and do a
Not.
setup. That would be it. Assist. You can assist. You can lead a group action, or you might do a setup.
Can I flashback, actually? This is going completely
Yes.
off script. I'm going to flashback to...
You may always flashback.
Me having Darmit put a crate of... Like, he's not going to have looked through them, but he's going to, like, go find, like, by last name. Like, oh, everything that's going to have this keyword will be in this crate, and I'm just going to have happened to have moved it down there for the
Easy
night.
rifling.
But then he wants us to put it back up.
Mm-hmm. So it's less obvious. You got muted randomly.
so he's like
So Darmit's kind of doing more. Oof.
Or it doesn't even have to be him. It could be literally like maybe I found a document person, just like a blue coat that was upset or something, and or maybe I like paid him or something.
You bribed someone.
This is all
Yeah.
just a blue
Yeah,
coat
I mean it's gonna
conspiracy.
change maybe what your action is, and the.
I don't think this will be
stress.
Darmit. Actually, I think this would be.
I think it's gonna be one stress to do the flashback, because
That's
it's
fine.
an unlikely opportunity.
Yeah, I think like when I was taking a tour, like maybe one of the people that I came back and like found them, and I was just like, I don't know. I just made this deal with them. Like they put the crate down, we'll put it back, and then something good would happen. Maybe like I either paid them, or I think that maybe they were upset with the captain and they wanted to like get back at him for something petty.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like maybe they were passed over for a promotion.
Yeah. Okay, so you find this person who has a bit of resentment, is willing to maybe upset things a little bit. What action are you going to roll to convince them to do this?
I think it would be consort, like make a new contact and have them do something, but it could also be sway. Either way, I think it would be fine.
I think it depends. Yeah, I think it depends on how you
I
want
think
them
it
to
might
feel
technically
about
be
you in the
consort because
end.
they're like a new asset that I'm using for a score.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards consort, but
Okay.
you get to decide.
I think I'll do consort.
Okay.
And can I offer a devil's bargain of maybe some word gets back to Jaren and he starts to like get a little inkling about me doing crime and like mark up on the clock that he's gonna start investigating me?
Yes. I will. It'll be 2 ticks
That's
on
fine. I guess
our
we never really decided the exact
clock,
amount of clock. I
which
made
I'm
it.
going to decide right now is 10 for starting an investigation on you.
Guards alerted needs to change to 10.
No.
No.
This is
No,
a
this
totally
is
separate
This
one.
is like
This is
Duchess's
Jaren.
personal.
Personal
Yes.
goal. And
Okay.
remember, he's going to get the 2 ticks no matter what you
Yep.
get on this roll.
Yes.
Okay. I will let
Okay.
you do that. So you paid your 1 stress to have your flashback. Now you're going to do a consort with +1 for your devil's bargain.
Okay,
And
I
our
marked 2
goal
clicks
is
on
that
that.
he brought down files for you. Yes. 2
Yes.
clicks.
I'm sorry, I missed the position and the effect.
I hadn't said them yet. So
Okay.
I'm going to say just risky standard.
Risky standard. Can I? I'm just trying to test out mechanics. Can I trade position for effect? Like maybe
I think you can.
I wanted this. I know I can. I'm saying like, can I in this situation? Like
Yeah.
maybe
Do you
I'm
want a
gonna
desperate for greater effect?
a desperate for greater. Like maybe he didn't really want to, and I was like, I almost got like a commanding motherly tone. Like, no, you're gonna do this. And so either he could.
Yes, I'll let you do it. I think it's going to put another tick on your guards alerted. Because this guard maybe...
Or is that something that's going to happen afterwards? Because I'm allowed to freely trade position for effect. Like, it's just a mechanic.
At no... Well, yeah. Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay. But it will make it worse if I fail.
It will make your consequence worse.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Okay,
That's
we'll
fine.
figure that out later. Yes, true. That comes later. Okay. So
and
you're doing
since
a
this is a desperate roll,
for
I
greater
get to
effect.
mark 1 under resolve. Yeah?
You would get an XP, yes.
Perfect. That's really why I wanted to do it.
Uh-huh. He's gaming this system already.
So this will be desperate for great effect, and I took a devil's bargain for an extra die.
You did.
And I'm not going to push myself. Boom. Oh my goodness.
You just barely made it. So
I know.
4. Okay. Wow. So I think I'm gonna be nice to you, and I'm gonna say reduced effect. I'm gonna say doubly reduced effect though. So basically, this guy didn't like your tone at the end, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll get your files for you. You can find them in the file room once you're ready." And
I want to resist that consequence.
You're just breaking them all out.
I'm breaking them all out. Why not?
Okay.
Racing towards
sure.
that trauma.
Roll resist.
Would this be resolve?
That is a great question.
I'm still a little fuzzy on resolve versus insight for resisting.
It's not
The
really deception or
consequence-
understanding. It's willpower, I
Yeah.
would say, because it's
Yeah.
your will against his.
Yeah.
And you're resisting.
So
or,
it's
like,
resolve.
Yeah.
Okay. Ugh.
Okay, you take 3
Oh, I forgot
stress.
that's okay. I'm about done for the session.
Okay.
It's okay.
You take 3 stress. Of note, what is it? There's 9 stress marks.
Yes, I have 2 more I can fill.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So you do resist. I'm gonna say you only resist it partially though. So you're instead of a limited effect, you're back up basically to standard. So he does get the files for you. Jeez. Yeah, so he brings the files to you. He puts them in a conspicuous place in the office. You rifle through them and you see it is files on the rates. The problem is it's not enough. Like it's really just basic stuff that almost anyone could gather. So you're like, this is not incriminating, so you know this is not enough.
So it's in Arthur's office.
So it's probably in Arthur's office.
Gotta go
Okay.
upstairs to the spirit safe.
The
Okay.
best bet is probably going up to author's office.
Okay, I'm gonna mark one of my load for blueprints on this building.
Ooh.
Maybe I had taken them from, like, maybe blueprints of the 3rd floor, which is why I couldn't find here. Maybe
Okay.
August didn't have the complete blueprints, but I have them for the 3rd floor. So once we get up there, I could find his room,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Okay.
Are y'all gonna
can-
take those files that are in front of you right now?
We were not asked to.
No.
Yeah, we're professionals.
Well, you were just told to destroy the files on the wraiths, so
I thought it was like specific. They had acquired an item and they wanted the files on that item destroyed. Or on them acquiring that item.
it was stuff on the score, basically on the heist that they pulled.
I mean, we don't want to
okay,
help
yeah.
them too much. Like,
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to know real quick. Okay, so you just leave that stuff. You head upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming. Okay.
Ooh, wait, hold on. Can we leave? Can we put it back, but like in the wrong positions, so that it's harder to find them when they need to reference the files? They're like not where anybody looked for them.
Yeah.
like instead of W, we put it under R.
Yeah.
Yes, you may.
Okay.
This will come back to haunt them, and the archivist will be vexed.
Yeah.
We could, or should we, like, having a mini discussion in this room? We're going to be making inroads into the race territory. Would it be worth it to have documents on them?
For ourselves or to trade with the wraiths? their
Potentially
goodwill.
both. Like, we could study them and see like what they're doing to either avoid them or purposefully hurt them in the future.
Do these documents even have important information on them?
Not especially, but it is probably more information than you knew in the first place. I mean, none of y'all have been part of kind of the gang like warfare scene before, so I think it would have information you wouldn't know. It's just not incriminating information to
Right.
build like a case off of.
Oh, okay.
I vote we keep the special files because they said they just needed to get rid of the special files to
They
build in case.
said destroyed.
They said go missing.
We'll
or
read
destroy.
I
them.
did say go missing. I meant destroyed.
We'll read them and then destroy
Yeah, we can
them.
read them.
We'll
and
make a
destroy our
copy and destroy the
yeah.
original.
Professional to the letter of the law.
So we're. Gosh, we might need to shift professional to like contractual almost.
Litigious.
Litigious, yes.
No, I think I want to take these files.
Okay,
The
that's
normal
fine.
files. I have load to spare.
Okay.
How much do you think it'd be? Like 2 or 3?
I think it would just be one.
Just one? Okay.
Yeah, they're just papers. It's not a
Okay.
huge file by any
Documents
means.
for one
Is
load.
there a way to like mark how much load you've used?
I don't think so. I think you should just try and keep it in mind.
Oh, there's a documents. I can just click that. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I think you're just checking off those boxes.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. So, y'all head out of the files room, which was a bit of a bust. Dermot's still standing by the stairway. Now y'all just need to get upstairs to his
Should we
office.
send him first
That's what
to
I
be
was
our
thinking
scout?
too. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to.
Or Ekko could just, or Duchess, not the last one. Sylph could sneak ahead.
Also could do that.
I don't want to involve him more than we need to, just because.
I was gonna say you might have to roll for it because
Yeah.
he is a third party that you're trying to basically convince to do continually more things.
I'll just stealth up.
Be part of the
first.
gang, darn it.
Yeah, he's basically
Darn
like a
it, darn
cohort
it.
at this
Darn
point.
it, darn it. I will
Okay.
stealth ahead and kind of scope it out and see if I
Yeah,
can figure
definitely.
out.
Where a safe
Where it
passage
is,
to his
yeah.
room, kind of
Mhm.
make sure there's no creaky floorboards that might give you
I
away.
guess I can look at these blueprints too. Maybe take them with me.
I was
and-
gonna say, do you want to assist?
I
Yeah, I'll assist.
What's your name?
for
Duchess.
free.
Duchess.
Free
Yeah,
service.
free.
with the blueprints, maybe?
Mhm.
Okay, so you know the layout. You can find his office. It's right in the middle. Like you would go upstairs. It's just another sort of long hallway, and then it's not tucked in any of the corners. It's in the middle of the right hand side. Pretty spacious from the looks of the blueprint. So your position will be risky standard.
Okay, I have my fine shadow cloak on, so it is risky great.
Ah, fine shadow cloaks coming in clutch.
Gotta love that shadow cloak.
And I have 1 bonus die. That's
Yes, and you have a bonus die from the assist.
6.
Whoa! Oh, that was you needed that bonus die because I gave you that 6. All right, you do it. You creep up the stairs with your shadow cloak, blending quite literally into the shadows. And why did we put foresight up? Okay, and
I realized I could click it, and I did.
and it goes up. And that's great. Okay, so you head up the stairs using your skills, and you kind of just have like a natural gift for this, so you don't even touch a single floorboard or anything that makes a noise. And you've also just always been really good at mapping out like the paths that you've taken before, so you can get up, you get all the way to his door, and then kind of retracing your steps. Do you want to bring everyone else back up, or do you want to do
I
more?
want to check if the door's locked. Not open
Um,
it, but just check it.
The door is not locked to his office.
Okay.
All right.
I'll bring
So
everybody up then.
Okay, so you bring everyone up. I think that's fine. You were so successful with your greater effect that you just carefully point out, you tell them to follow your footsteps exactly, and they will. So all 3 of you get to his door, the door to his office.
Okay, I want to try a tune
How will you
again
proceed?
and see if
Okay.
it's the door that's warded or if it's inside the room.
Okay, definitely. Thoughts?
I'm like, can I
Ekko?
assist? How would I assist? In tuning. I don't know.
You could try and do a setup action. I was gonna say you could attune yourself. Do you have any items that would be useful to help with attuning by any chance?
Arcane implements.
Arcane implements?
Oh?
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
You
I'll say that's one of the load that I've been carrying.
Yeah.
I picked it off of when I was searching the cloaks. One of the things that I found when I was rifling, because I was just taking things was arcane implements. So I was like, one of the drunkards was a dabbler in arcane things, and I lend it to Sylph to use.
Yeah, you give her these implements, and they're
And I'm
special
like,
tools inscribed with runes and so forth, that help to kind of soften the blow if things go back badly, as well as help strengthen it with less effort. So it definitely gives you help with your attuning.
Cool.
Would that be 1 stress?
Yeah, it's 1 stress
That
to help.
assisting is 1 stress, yes.
Okay.
Flat, no matter what, unless you've got a special ability.
All right.
Okay, and then you're gonna attune. I will say it is just risky standard once
Cool.
again. Can't go wrong with risky
No.
standard. I don't have to try too hard at that point.
I am also gonna push myself.
Yes, which takes 2 stress.
Yeah, so I have 2 bonus dice.
Foresight only works twice per score, and only Logan can use it.
Yep.
Yes. And then
which
also,
makes things
Abby,
cost nothing.
when you push yourself, you can either add an effect or a die. Just if that changes what you wanted to do.
True. If you would prefer, you could get greater effect. Or you could trade position and effect and still take the die.
So many choices.
So many choices. I know that's why I've been sticking with risky standard for the most part. I haven't even been taking into account tier or anything.
Oh, jeez.
Big moves.
Big moves.
Abby.
Big
Desperate
moves.
does give you an XP.
It gives you an XP.
I do. I think I do. I want to do Desperate Great with an extra die.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it sounds fun. It sounds scary,
It
but it
sounds
sounds
really
fun.
fun. Actually, I'm super excited, and I think I have a good.
Attune's
a
like
couple
the
good
best.
concept- Do you want
So you're
a-
trading?
I'm like reducing.
So she's trading one die, her
She's
extra die.
Reducing position for increased effect and pushing myself for a die. So risky standard becomes Desperate Great.
But aren't you also getting assistance? So you'd have
Yeah, so I have 2 die.
So she's got 2 bonus die as well as a greater effect. I will offer you a devil's bargain.
Oh,
if you like.
yes.
Okay. A devil's bargain. So you have suddenly been attuning a lot, more frequently than you normally do. You've done it a couple times and you do it every now and then, but this is pretty stressful. So with this attune, if you take this bargain, you will suddenly become a ghost magnet. The arcane energy that you've started using is going to attract ghostly energies to your position. And you may become haunted, you may become sort of not possessed, but
Yeah.
weird things are going to start happening.
Yeah, that
around
sounds
you.
great. I can.
Really? That's the one you want
No,
to
it's
accept?
because I sacrificed ghosts of people to my forgotten god, so it's perfect.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that sounds
And we're both like, oh.
totally benign. Yeah.
Party barge.
Yeah,
Party
ooh.
barge. Love it.
Okay.
So I have 3 bonus dice.
You have 3 bonus dice for this attune right now.
Perfect. Here we go. 6.
All right.
Oh
6.
my
You do it.
And I get
Okay.
an XP on resolve. Yeah.
And
Yes,
you're
you do.
haunted.
And
Ooh,
you're haunted, which
temporarily,
we'll
maybe.
figure that out later. But I will write down now. Sylph is haunted. Okay,
I'll just get the first level of trauma and actually get haunted.
there you go.
Nice.
So basically, what happens is you have these implements. You open your mind and attune to the ghost field, and it's like an explosion. Like you didn't even realize you could be this powerful and this closely attuned, and suddenly you see like way further than just the building itself. Between these tools that you're holding and the fact that you've done it so many times recently, it just like you tapped into a newfound ability almost for this one moment. And you can see clear as day there is a little device attached to the top of the door on the inside that has some sort of arcane electric powering, and it is also connected by a wire that's kind of glowing in your mind's eye as you see kind of the ghostly echoes of this building connected directly to the doorknob and the latch. And as far as you can tell, if you mess with any of that, it will affect whatever this device up top is.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not good.
Yeah. Can I disable that with my great effect or no?
Oh, I forgot we were at great effect.
Yeah, I didn't change it. I'm sorry.
Or like she can tell what it does, like if it's an alarm or it shocks us or something.
Or
like
maybe like she caused like a shockwave of arcane power when she connected, and that disabled.
Yeah.
Maybe like.
Let's see. I would let you disable it with attune if you rolled again.
Okay.
At like risky standard, because that feels to me like a separate outcome that you were
her
trying to
stated
get.
goal was to see if it was associated, not to disable
Yeah,
anything.
was not to disarm anything. So I think you
Would
would have
could I
but you
assist
could use a
again?
different ability to do that. Your assist would not hold through. Assist only
But you
works
could
for one
assist
roll.
again.
You could do it again and
But
just
you
pay
could
the
assist
stress again.
Again. Yeah, and pay the stress again. Setup actions do work for every following action that relates to it. So that would have carried through potentially if we'd done a setup action, but assist does not. So yeah. So your greater effect, I think, is just the clarity. So I'll also give you what Logan said. It is an alarm from what you know. You've spent a little time tinkering with various devices. You can tell it's a Sparkcraft alarm. But next up is how to get past it.
Okay, Sarah, are you gonna help me again?
Yes.
Cool.
I have stress to burn.
So you have to describe how you're gonna help her again.
Yeah.
And I won't let you use the tools because you already used them, technically.
Okay. Are you going to attune again, Abby, or what are you gonna do?
I could either attune or finesse or tinker. Tinker might make sense. Right?
We could also just set the alarm off and go really quick.
We could, but
You still don't know where the files are in his office.
I think, can I use an item myself to get +1 die?
You can use an item, I think, to increase effect.
Okay.
Items are kind of subjective, but I don't think they usually give die. They usually create an opportunity to even be able to do something.
Yeah.
Or maybe increase effect. Double check me on that, Logan, if you have time.
That sounds right, but there's something about like a devil's bargain in items.
You can lose
Oh, Devil's
items.
Bargain can have collateral damage, unintended harm. You can sacrifice coin or an item for a Devil's Bargain, too.
I think
Y'all
we
don't have
at
any
least tried
coin.
to disarm it, and then if we set it off, we just go. But
Yeah,
we should
might
at
as
least
well.
try.
Oh, it's like you could say, oh well, my item that I have is a specific thing. So like maybe it is like the devil's bargain sets you up to be like, oh well, I have a key that is for this door,
Yeah.
and then you accept a devil's bargain to have that be true.
Oh, so you can Devil Bargain to get
For
a specific item.
item.
Yeah, it's like if you
Ah.
want to include advantages due to a specific detail of the item.
Oh.
Can my assist be that other key? Because we don't know where I had 2 keys
Yes, I will let it be the other key.
and we didn't know what the other key was. Or at
So
the
then,
very
like-
least, it could be a tool to like help pick.
Do you
the
want
lock.
that to be like a prompt, like a devil's bargain for that key to be for this door?
No, I don't think she needs to do that.
So it
Because
could
we
be
already
the
did the
assist.
flashback and I gave her 2 keys.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I feel like that might be unnecessary.
So the key maybe just helps like get it open enough to like have access to everything.
Yeah, so I think the key helps create the opportunity to do it more safely. So
Yeah.
I'll give you a controlled, and you from your greater effect with the attune and knowing exactly what it is, you're in a controlled position.
Mm-hmm.
Your effect though is just going to be standard like normal.
Okay.
And
And
with the
one
effect
stress
being
for me.
you disarm the lock.
If I use my silence potion vial as like a last resort and have it ready to go, can that increase effect?
No, because
Okay.
it's not increasing your effect to get the item or to get your
If it
action.
was set off and I took it, then I would have more time to disable it though.
That's different than what she said. Yes, sure. What do rules matter? I don't even know what they are in this situation, so I'm just gonna let it go. Fun first, guys. Fun first. Yes, you can use your item to get greater effects. So you are now controlled greater against this.
Awesome.
You have +1 die from Sylph. No,
Key
Sylph has +1
assist.
die from Ekko's
Mhm.
key,
Cool.
and you can roll whatever you like at this point. You've finessed the effects in the
And I'm gonna push myself
consequence.
again.
Okay.
Cool girl.
You really want this to work.
I'm scared.
It would be really good if it did.
4 is not great, but I think it does work.
4.
So
Not great. Okay,
Not
so
great,
here's
no.
what I'll give you for that. So you try to do it with a tune again. Or
Or I
okay,
might have
let's
actually been
see.
doing Tinker, but it's the same number of dice. It doesn't really matter.
Okay. Controlled. So I'm gonna basically give you a second chance. So you've done all this attuning, you're really in it, you're pretty in the zone, especially with Sarah's help or
Ekko.
Ekko's help. And you're kind of like probing at it with your mind's eye and trying to fiddle with it and disconnect it from its energy source. But just like you feel like just this tinge in your twinge in like your subconscious and like almost a little zap from the device, and you realize, oh, I need to stop this or I'm going to set it off right now. So you just pull back, and that pulling back also pulls you out of the zone. So you're out of attune. But I will let you do another risky standard move to try and disarm it again using a different ability.
So like this would be a time to use Tinker.
Yeah, now I can use Tinker.
You could also, Sean, do something like reduced or worse position as a consequence, and then
That's literally what I just did.
Yeah, that is.
Okay. Well, in that case, her effect doesn't change, so she rerolls the same ability just at a worse position.
So it'd be risky, great.
So in this case, she would roll a tune. She'd make the same roll at risky great.
With the same amount of dice?
Yeah, it's the exact same roll, just at a different position, so that if you fail, it's worse. It's a little weird in the. It's like the only time you do a roll for the same thing twice.
Worst position. The consequence remembers is the action carries you into a more. Try again. Re-rolling at the new worst position. It doesn't say anything about dice. Is the only thing.
Just make a
I don't
call
know
and
if you would get the dice. Is the thing. I think you.
Fun before rules.
Okay, we'll write that down as one to look up.
Yeah.
Worst position dice. Just in case. I don't want to, I don't want to wreck the balance somehow. Position dice amount. But okay, we'll do that. So now you're risky great. And you can roll a tune again with 3 dice.
Okay. 4.
4.
But why?
Okay, so you do it.
Yeah.
This time, after that little bit of twinge, you knew what you were doing. Okay, so you kind of disconnect it from its energy source, but without realizing it, you also give it a little bit of your own energy, and suddenly, this jolt of energy, you can tell, is setting off the alarm just very weakly for a moment. And you all open the room, and you see in the corner, sleeping in a cot, is Sergeant Arthur himself.
Resist that.
Yeah, I have the stress to spare. That's fine.
Okay, you want to resist that?
Yeah.
Okay, so roll. What
prowess
are you resisting?
I feel like you resist the mild alarm.
And so what I'm gonna say is Sergeant Arthur is in the room.
Yes.
Sleeping, but you're gonna resist the low-level alarm sound. So that is
insight.
I don't know what that is.
Consequences, deception, understanding. So like it would be a consequence of them understanding that we.
Or maybe resolve.
For consequences from mental strain or willpower.
Yeah, if I can
hold herself back from not putting the energy.
I'll do
into
mental strain because it was the attuning effect. It was the attuning effect that caused it.
Resolve. No bonus dice. Blam. 6.
Nice. Good job.
Okay,
so no stress from that resist. Perfect. So you thought you sent a jolt, and maybe you did, just the tiniest, and it just let out one little beep. And then it's dead. It's good. And then you do open the door and you see Sergeant Arthur, but he's snoring away in his cot. Doesn't seem to have been disturbed at all. And now you are in his office. And what you see is a very Spartan room, totally different than the file room that you were just in. It is almost impeccably clean. All there is one large, really nice desk, couple windows in the back, maybe one bookcase that is perfectly neat and aligned, and one chair on each side of the desk, and then like one chair by the door. And that's pretty much it. Maybe one cabinet filled with a couple other stuff, but he is one of the few Bluecoats who's actually pretty
in order.
less corrupt.
Of course he
Less
is.
terrible, less corrupt.
Is he snoring?
He is snoring.
Can I, seeing him, scurry on over to his open mouth and put my vial of slumber essence into it to send him into a deep sleep that he could be roused from if someone were purposeful, but he would not just be roused
From noise.
from small noise.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're gonna have to roll for it because he's sleeping. He's not
yes.
just drinking.
Yeah. But if his mouth is open, I'm just gonna like slowly
Yes.
put it in.
I will let you. Yeah. I think that's fair. So you're gonna try.
Or
and
I could give it
administer-
to Sylph to do. What's your stress looking like, Sylph?
I'm okay. I'm doing great.
What about Ekko?
I'm okay too.
But who can
My
prowl
prowl
better?
stinks.
That's the
I
kicker.
can,
What about
I can
finesse?
assist
I
you.
think it is more finesse. I don't think it's prowl.
Well, in that case, I'm definitely going to give it to you.
I
You're
only
supposed
have
to hold
one,
it
and
out.
you also have finesse.
I don't
one.
have finesse. I have
Oh.
prowl.
Either of us have finesse better than you.
I think you told me you had finesse because I have it on the overlay, but that's fine.
Well, that's a big lie.
That's a big one.
I hold out the vial of slumber essence and I make a motion like point to him and just hold it out for one of you to take. So one of you can decide if you want to take it.
I think we just be quiet.
Or we
Maybe
could make him go to sleep so it doesn't.
He's already asleep.
We could make him go into a deep sleep. Big.
You hear I mean,
nerves.
a
Ekko's
raucous
like,
snore, like.
Ekko takes the vial and times her moves with the snores.
All right.
And gets her way over there and, slowly drizzles the essence when he's not snoring so he doesn't choke on it, but is like drop by drop.
Like dissolving it under his tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, very slowly. Okay.
It's not like he's gargling this potion while he's...
I'll give you controlled standard because
Okay.
y'all are in a strong position at the moment.
And big moves. Can I push myself?
Of course, you can always push yourself.
I'm gonna push myself.
Keep in mind, you might need to resist the consequence of whatever happens.
So keep stress.
She's controlled. You're in a pretty good position.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stress.
Yeah, you haven't
Free.
stressed yourself yet.
I haven't stressed
Oh, you have
myself too
stress
much yet.
free. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't pushed myself at all yet. And I think if this is successful, it's worth it.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And we said finesse, since I'm being delicate. And you said control standard, Sean.
Yes.
And one bonus die since I'm pushing myself. Big moves!
Okay.
4.
So you do it with consequences. Okay, so here's what you do. Oh, this is delicious. I like it already. Okay. Your I'm trying to make sure I'm not like breaking rules. Okay. So you have reduced effect. So you do your best and you get about, let's say, half of the vial. The rest, he's sleeping. He's not trying to drink anything. So just, unconsciously, some of it is, being
Lost.
ingested,
It's in
but
his
some of
lungs.
it's just
He's gonna get a
dribbling
pneumonia.
out of
Yeah.
the side of his mouth too. So you get half of it
Drool
in,
sleepers.
and we're gonna create a 4 o'clock that there's no ticks on at the moment.
Okay.
That is Sergeant Arthur wakes up
Okay.
through his slumber because it was only half effect.
Okay.
And while she does that, you said this was a pretty bare room.
It is barren. There's one bookcase. There's one large wardrobe cabinet combo thing.
Like file cabinet or like clothes cabinet?
No, looks more like clothes. This is a gentleman who looks like he sleeps in his office a lot if he has a cot there. So he maybe has a change of clothes in there. And then one large desk with multiple drawers.
Okay. I think our best bet is the desk, so I'll walk over there, seeing how he's asleep now. I'll just casually walk over there and start surveying, trying to quietly open the drawer, see is there any paper. If there's not, just immediately close it. Sort of like scouring for files of some sort.
Okay.
Like taking a broad look. Like maybe if I find a piece of paper, instead of I just take it and put it on top of the desk or something. Like I'm trying to differentiate between study and survey.
Okay, so you want to survey? I think you could do either.
We could do a group roll too.
We could. I don't want to lead it.
I could lead it.
Do you want to lead us looking? Maybe you're being quiet and I'm studying the papers as you hand them to me and then you put them back?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I
Okay.
guess, Ekko, do you want to be part of it?
Do you want them to be studies or do you want them to be surveys?
I have 0 survey.
Survey.
Okay, so you should not be in it then.
Yeah. So you two
Um,
do that, and I'll maybe be keeping watch on Sir Arthur.
Or we could do a setup to where you prowl and you're handing me the papers and I'm studying them and giving them back if they're not right.
Yeah, I like that too.
Okay, you want to do a setup?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's 2 actions then. So Sylph will start. So you prowl over to the desk, and with your experienced and nimble hands, you slowly coax open the different drawers and pull out the papers as quietly as possible, with the goal of then being able to get them to Duchess.
Yes.
I was just thinking the only thing is there's no light in this room at the moment.
Huh. I guess people don't normally
is
sleep in
night.
well-lit rooms.
Yeah.
Do you
So
have your
you
night
might
vision
take-
goggles?
I do have
you
my
might
night
have
vision
limited
goggles.
effect if
Or it could be an item that you pull out. A lantern is an item that you can carry.
I don't want to wake him up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are the night vision goggles... Are they give you enough acuity to read?
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
in pitch black you can see perfectly. It's the flavor is very strong.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
I'm gonna read that real fast.
Yeah. Let me
And
see.
it allows you to see in pitch darkness as if it were well lit.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Okay. Yeah, that's
Crazy.
good.
It's a good one.
I mean,
Alternative
that's-
plan. You can open your little silence potion and I could shoot this guy and then we could just make all the noise we want.
But Darmit's gonna be pissed if this guy just dies.
Screw
We
Darwin, let's
will
burn that bridge.
Probably be mad about that. That might change things.
Also, killing
Darmit
people
turns
has
us
its
in.
own problems.
Also,
so-
that's not very professional.
No.
All they asked is that you destroy the document.
We destroyed the documents in his head.
Okay.
So can I use the goggles? Are they just normal
Yeah,
goggles
they're
you
just-
slip on? And...
They're technically, they are shadow or lurk specific items, but
So
So you would just be assisting Abby to like decipher, right?
or could I like use them with a worse position or reduced effect or something? Since I'm not like trained to use them.
I would give you reduced position. Because the thing is, I think your effect in darkness would be
None. 0.
Yeah.
would probably be either none or limited.
Well,
So
I
you
mean,
can't
like
really.
I couldn't even read in the dark.
Yeah,
so.
I think none. Yeah, does make more sense. I was trying to be nice. So you need the dark vision goggles for limited.
We could also do a lantern and just like put like my shadow cloak around it or something, so that
You can specify that
light's
the
directed.
lantern is like directed.
bullseye
Like it doesn't
lantern,
have to
yeah.
be a. There are special lanterns.
I'll mark
that are,
lantern
Yeah.
on my load. I'll just have a lantern that's like
There
specific
are
for
focus
reading, like it's focused
fire
lanterns.
Yeah.
Yeah, a hooded lantern.
Yeah. Okay,
hooded
I'll mark that then.
Shuttered. Thank you, Kenny, for our vocab reminder. Okay, so you pull out that. Sylph needs to roll her prowl action to set up.
Yes. And I'm being stealthy, so I have greater effect from my fine shadow cloak.
Okay, yeah, awesome. You're at risky
Risky standard.
because Arthur's in the room, even
Yeah.
though he's asleep.
So then it's risky great.
So you're at risky great.
Cool. Do you have a devil's bargain? Perchance? I just love them so much.
You're gonna rack them up. Okay, let's see. A devil's bargain, maybe. A devil's bargain.
If you don't, that's okay. I probably don't need it. Knock on wood.
The one that I'm thinking is that you singe your shadow cloak.
No!
And you're gonna have
Sean,
to spend a
no.
downtime to
I'm rolling!
to repair it. I was like, I can give you one, but you're not gonna like it. Okay. So we were at risky great. You do a really good job of being quiet and getting in there. Actually, I'll just reduce the effect because I don't think there really is an important mechanical effect to having greater for an assist. Not an interesting one.
We could mark the wakes up clock.
We could, but there will probably be more chances for that.
Yeah. And I technically succeed with great effects. Which
you do, yeah. So you get your +1 die to help. Duchess.
And I don't.
It's not a die. It's a better position or a poor effect.
Position. Frick, you're right. Okay.
Which I think in this case, position would make more sense than effect because she's not really helping me read. She's just putting me in a better position to read them.
Yep.
Yeah, I think improved position is right. Okay, yes. So, yeah, I'll just move you down to standard and you'll get the bonus. Everything goes smoothly with that setup and you are able to quietly open all the drawers and get their contents to Duchess. Some of the drawers don't have anything interesting. I mean, like one has a pistol and some scrap in it. Others just have notes. Some of them do have files, though. So, would you like to roll a steady?
I would. And so, what's my position?
You're going to be risky. Oh, wait. Do you have the knight? No, we did the lantern. Okay. You're going to be risky standard.
I do have a better position from the setup. So would I have been at desperate initially?
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna give you desperate initially because now you've got the light, which I think is a pretty big hazard.
Yeah. And then just standard effect then?
Standard effect, but we'll bump you up to risky because you've got the setup.
Can I
Bump me
also
down to
mechanically
risky.
help or not? If I do
Yeah,
setup,
I think you can set up
assist?
and assist.
Okay.
You can't get an assist from more than one person.
Yeah. So I'll pull all of these out and then help you go through them and.
So you're
read
gonna
through
take
them.
take one stress
Yeah.
to also assist with
Yep.
this setup.
So are you going to give me a die
Yes.
then? Okay. Okay, here we go. Nice. Well, that was
4,
a
5,
pretty
4.
good roll.
Okay, yeah, you do what you set out to do. So you get through all of these and none of them really are what you need.
It's freaking on Sergeant Arthur, isn't it?
So there are lots of correspondences, even some incriminating stuff, but really nothing that's directed at the wraiths. And you get a feeling though that this desk, there's something wrong with this desk. Like this desk is just too big, where you opened every single drawer. So there has to be something else to it.
So I would like to look on the desk for then like a secret compartment.
Okay. Also, mark 2 on your clock to wake up Sergeant Arthur, because while you were doing that, you had to move your lamp, and it's kind of the shadows and everything has started to startle him a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's 2 because risky's 2.
Risky is normally 2,
Okay,
yes.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's controlled 1, risky 2, and desperate is 3.
I think the effect is what does it, right? Or is it the position?
I think it's the
doesn't
it is
matter.
effect.
Oh, it's the
You're
effect.
right.
I mean, I was risky standard, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
But
I'm
that's
just
if you're
wondering-
ticking that's like if you're
Up.
ticking a clock up for your own
I
game.
think it could just be the inverse
Yeah.
if you're taking it up for bad
Which
effects.
means it's still 2.
Which is what I was talking about.
Yeah. It's all good.
I mean, searching for secret effects. Anybody else have any better ideas?
No.
All you have to do is destroy the document. So
Yeah, let's
Blow
just
up the
blow
desk.
desk up. We're not even sure they're in there though. We can't
Demolition
just be like,
tools,
we
here we
definitely got
come.
we definitely got the documents we think were in
I'm just
that
saying,
desk.
worst comes to worst, blow up the desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could check Sir Arthur.
I can study Sir Arthur, but that might tick up our clock, and we've already ticked it up.
Right.
You can just wreck him if he wakes up.
I know,
Yeah.
I can just wreck and leave.
We still have that silent potion palm pistol
Oh, yeah.
option.
We do.
Okay. I'll search the desk because you said it was bigger and something feels wrong about it. I will sort of look maybe like up along the ledges, like for anything, maybe like press the panel, see if any of them are like push release.
Yeah, definitely. I think because you've already had the help. I'm gonna say you just find it. You're a smart lady.
Thanks.
You've had the help of
Aw.
Sylph. I mean, she knows her way around secret compartments and everything, and was opening all the drawers at the same time. So through the setup action, her assist, and your kind of general knowledge and studying the documents, you find it. So there is a secret compartment hidden underneath one of the drawers. It's kind of got a fake top to it. The problem is it requires a special insignia to be
Like a ring?
pressed into it. Yeah. Like a
Mm.
special trick ring.
Is what's his face wearing a ring?
I don't know. Why don't you go look?
I'm gonna have. I'm still by by Sir Arthur. And his bed is by the window, right? Like, I don't need the lantern
Yeah,
to really
his
search
bed's in the
him as
corner.
much.
It's close to a window, so you
Okay.
do have a little bit of light.
Does
You would see
anybody
the
have
glint
a relative friend that you could use for a flashback? You're muted.
I have an enemy.
Oh, that's not useful.
Yeah, you could do a flashback.
I feel like this is really
Um,
good flashback material, but I don't have
Yeah.
anybody.
Can I have
You
a
can flashback to
flashback?
anything. You don't
Can
have to
I-
have a friend or a.
Can I say we flash back to like my drinking with the guys, and they're just complaining about work and everything, and they're like, "Oh, Sir Arthur is blah blah blah. He thinks he's such a hot shot with his, fancy ass ring that he carries around his neck. We blah blah blah, like that kind of a flashback."
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
I'm like,
definitely.
And so when Duchess is like, "We need a ring," or like there's something else going on, I can be
So-
like, aha.
Well,
I know
it's
where he
not
wears
hard
it.
to find the ring. So that's what I'll say. I don't think you need a flashback to find the ring. You can just see it
Is it
Okay.
on his finger?
wherever it is. I don't want to be. If I say it's somewhere, then it's there. So
Yeah.
like the flashback is not supposed to kind of retcon too much.
Okay.
So it
But
needs
in
an
the-
insignia that he has. It could be a ring. It could be something else. It doesn't really matter.
I mean, does it look like it's something where you like press something into it?
Yes, somehow you need to press into like a divot. My suggestion would be do a flashback to somehow get the ring. Have whatever that item is already.
Yeah.
Which in the flashbacks can be anything. So it's
They
the limits
can
of
be.
your creativity. You can flashback to directly confronting the sergeant.
Wait, can I flash back to me prowling through the halls and finding like an item and just being like, oh, I don't know what this is, but looks important, and it is, it is like a ring of some kind. So like I'm
Alternatively, Sylph could flash back to pickpocketing him before tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Pickpocketing. Anyone could have pickpocketed him.
Well, okay, we can say while he was like pushing me out of when he like
I
didn't
like
let me
that,
be
yeah.
recruited.
Yeah.
I picked his pocket.
Yeah.
While
Definitely.
So like when he was like, no new recruits, I was like, boy, I'm picking your pocket.
Yeah.
And so like he pushes me out, and I like snatch whatever's in his purse.
You just think it's a
Definitely.
nice ring at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I think that will be one stress
Okay.
for somewhat unlikely opportunity. But I did mention that Sergeant Arthur had come down already during that
Mhm.
situation
Yes.
to talk to you. Otherwise, it would have been 2 stress. And now you need to roll in action. So, what do you want to roll to get that?
Not prowl.
Finesse?
Finesse?
Yeah.
Finesse? Sure. Okay, I'll give you finesse. It will be... It's going to be desperate standard.
Okay.
Because you're in a very risky position.
I
mean,
get the
risky
X-
is a
Yeah,
position,
get
but
that
you're in a
XP.
very
I get
dangerous
the
situation.
XP either way, right? If I fail or
Yeah.
succeed?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just taking the action gets you the XP.
Okay.
You can push yourself, and you can take a devil's bargain.
Okay.
And I think technically you can get assistance even in a flashback. It just has to make narrative sense is the problem.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
either of us
I
were
feel like
there.
it's a little hard because I was by myself. And we weren't a gang yet.
We aren't. You're still really not a gang,
No.
technically.
What's my devil's bargain?
What is your devil's bargain? Okay, your devil's bargain is that Sergeant Arthur now has a vendetta against you. And he will do his best to make your life hell.
That sounds great.
Because
Okay,
you lost
I'll
him
take
his
that.
job and you
That's
took his cool
narratively
ring.
interesting. I'll take it.
Yeah.
For one more die.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sergeant Arthur hates you.
Okay, finesse, and you said risky standard?
Yes.
Desperate standard.
Or sorry,
you're
desperate
right.
standard. I
Desperate
said
standard.
risky because I use words and then realized they have actual meanings in the game.
Plus 1 bonus dice. Big moves!
Big move!
No!
I highly suggest a resistance roll.
Yep.
I will resistance roll that for sure. That was
Okay.
finesse, so I'll roll prowess resistance.
You
Wait, let
probably
me-
roll.
Wait,
No.
I guess you gotta know what the complication is
I'm
first.
gonna. Yeah, I have to tell
Okay.
you what the complication is.
Tell me what
first,
the
so
complication
I've
is.
got to decide on that. Shoot. Okay. I'm going to say you reach for this ring that he does wear around his neck on a necklace.
Mhm.
And while you're being pushed, you think you can maybe swipe it and break it off his neck real fast. But Sergeant Arthur's been around for a long time. He knows his way around pickpockets and thieves, and he's seen a lot of their tricks before. So he catches your wrist, just like stares you down, and is like, I never want to see your face again, before throwing you out. And we're going to take 3 marks on the guards are awake or alarmed or alerted because he put all of his guards on high alert once he realized someone was trying to pickpocket and infiltrate him during this stressful time.
Okay.
So
That
there's
brings us
actually
at
Fine.
5 after
That doesn't
6.
fill
So
us up.
so I don't
Yeah.
need to resist that.
No, I think
Do we
that's
feel
okay.
okay?
Probably
You
not,
could.
no.
but you don't
It
have
wouldn't
to.
get us the ring. It would just make
Yeah, it
them
wouldn't get us
less
the ring.
alert.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean, he's asleep over there now.
Yeah, let's just get that necklace.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Just-
someone
Or
can either prowl or finesse to get it, I would say. Or you can wreck the desk.
that's what I was saying. Like we could wreck or like tinker it. Oh, does
Or
anyone have
tinker the deck.
any
Yes.
dots in wreck?
I have 1 dot in wreck.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
I
We
have one dot in finesse and wreck. No
He's
dots in
super
tinker.
going
We
to
could-
wake up if we wreck
We
the
could
desk.
use the silence potion and then just bash this thing in.
Yeah. Could do.
I think that's the best.
Does
bet.
that actually wreck the papers though?
We're gonna destroy him anyway.
That's true.
But no, like you could just wreck. Like you
Oh,
could hit the
wreck the contraption.
wreck the like hit the piece of wood with a hammer or something. Like break
Okay.
it open,
So
and then you
Abby
can like
basically
grab and rip
sets
the
me
papers
up.
out.
Yeah, I
Look
would
at
let
Sean's
you.
face.
No. I'm just thinking about how it would work. So I think you need an item to wreck with. So I don't know. I don't have all your item sheets up.
I wear as like a character thing, steel-toed boots,
Okay.
so I can just like whoosh.
You're just gonna like stomp it into oblivion. I love
I
it.
can also.
Okay.
I have enough load for like demolition tools, and I could just have.
Yeah,
a
I
hammer.
do too.
Okay,
mean,
either
that
one of
works
those
too.
work.
I think
Well,
that
can
works
we?
better.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So basically, I'm gonna let you. Yeah, you can wreck, and I'll give you risky. Actually, I'll give you controlled standard because you're gonna use the silencing
Silence
potion.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what
Okay.
I will do.
Okay, so I'll mark off my demo tools.
And do you want to pay the stress, Abby, to count it as an assist for a dice roll?
Who's Sarah's rolling? Yeah, that's fine.
I
I
only
think
have 1
s-
dot.
Sarah's rolling with one
I
dot,
will
which isn't
assist
great.
you.
Chess. Okay.
Okay.
Let's smash this.
Let's
Smash it.
Hulk smash. You said controlled standard, Sean?
Yeah.
Controlled standard. Yep.
One extra dice.
I was really hoping that flashback would work.
Oh!
Oh man. Okay. So,
Can I resist? I'm gonna resist what I'm gonna say.
Whoa.
No, well, here's
So
the thing.
bad.
You don't really need to resist because you're in control.
It's controlled. That's true. That's
so
true. That's
controlled. So basically, 1-1. If you get 1 to 3, you don't get what you want.
Yeah.
There's just consequences, but the consequences are mild because you're controlled. So you can
Hammer bounces off.
yeah. So this silence potion goes through. You've got like 3 seconds to really beat the shit out of this. You just hammer at it with your foot. But this is like.
Why are you using your foot with a hammer?
Wait.
Oh, I thought were you using
Logan
a wrecking
gave
tool? I
me the
forgot.
I gave her a hammer.
Yeah,
You
demolition
try to
tools.
use the hammer. And something about it's just too strong. Maybe it's reinforced somehow with steel. You
This
can't
Sir
tell.
Arthur.
It's really doing more damage to the like casing that it's in than the actual secret compartment itself. You are now in a risky position for any of your other actions.
Has the potion worn off? Like, is it
The potion
null
wears
and void
off
now?
after a couple moments, so I would say probably yes.
Or like, is the risky position like it didn't work initially, so now it's about to wear off, so we have like half a second to do something.
Yeah, I'll give you that. If you think you have an idea for something you can do really fast under silence.
Rip the drawer out and just take the whole thing.
Take the whole desk.
No, just the drawer.
I just love the mental image of chugging a potion and then smashing the hell out of this desk.
It's just a comedy of errors after a certain
Yeah.
point.
I think I'll just go get that necklace.
Okay,
That seems like the best bet.
sure.
Cool.
So I'll sneaky run over there and then prowl it off of him.
Okay. You are risky standard.
Cool.
Prowl it off of him. Abby, do what I could not.
I'm real disappointed in that roll, Sarah.
Yeah, that's real bad.
I'm disappointed in that roll.
Oh no, okay. Cancel. I'm trying to think if I have any like gear that would help, but I don't think I do.
Scarf.
I'm not gonna scarf.
A blade or two, just kill him.
No,
Suffocate
thank
him
you.
in his sleep.
Wire
Risky
cutters.
standard.
Just cut it off
I'll
his
just
neck.
do it. It'll be fine.
Hey,
Yes.
a 6!
Oh,
Woo,
ayo,
for those
girl.
snake eyes. Okay. Sylph prowls. Sylph's really pulling through a lot. Sylph prowls through, prowls over to
She
him,
just gets really frustrated with this wrecking and then just goes over there and like grabs it off of him.
and then just like she makes it look so easy too. Just like a simple flip of her wrist, and somehow she's undone the mechanism to, the latch for the chain and has it procured already, and then just walks over and like drops it in front of y'all. And you open the desk, and inside you see some very sensitive documents, more than just what is on the wraith. So there are multiple documents on a couple different important cases, but the one for the wraith is definitely there. You see it almost immediately. You're muted.
I think we
Classic.
should just take them all.
No, we can't take them all.
We're professionals.
That is true, but do we want to sit? Is it like easily identifiable which one's for the wraith, or are we gonna have to sit here and sort through them all?
Yeah, it's literally on top because it's the most recent one.
Oh, okay.
But
I was thinking
you're
we'd have to sit here
assuming-
and search through
You
them.
can see a couple other files, so you're sure if it's in with these wraith files, it's probably also very important.
Okay. Well, then we can just take that then. I didn't think that was
Yeah,
the case, so
let's
that's
just take them.
Take the money and run.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you grab those files and you head on out. I think it's gonna take maybe one more
Group prowl.
group
Yeah.
prowl, or his windows are not barred or anything, so you could try and escape directly from this room.
We still have our climbing equipment down, and it wasn't that far, I don't think. I think we should just go back
No.
down and then climb out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll give you one more group prowl for me.
Cool.
And I get
Who's-
I feel like we close it all up and like we put the ring back on top of the
Mhm.
desk and everything.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. Do you want to leave it? How do you want to leave the scene?
like it was.
Exactly
we-
as
Well,
it was.
did we dent the desk? Is it
I mean,
clear
there
that
is
we
some
tried to?
noticeable marks. Yeah, someone definitely tried to manhandle their way through, and then
So he's gonna know that they're gone anyway. So let's just put the ring on the desk and go.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, okay. So you do that,
And
and if you guys could make one group,
I can lead,
or
or
I mean, just one person can prowl. Then we're back on Sylph again.
but I want to synchronize.
Nobody wants me to prowl.
Yeah, but you
I
could
think we
lead the
have
group
to prowl
action
if we
again.
want to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
like, we
I
have to
can
do a
lead
group
the
roll.
group
Yeah.
action.
Do you
I
have
think it's
stress for that?
safest if you lead it.
I
Okay.
have stress. I
Yeah.
have 4 open
Cool.
stress.
Okay. What's our position, Sean?
I think you're risky standard.
Mhm.
We have a
Because you
lookout. Darmit is our lookout.
That is true.
Darmit is gonna come in handy once shit hits the fan, but for the
okay.
moment, you have to cross a relatively large
Oof.
amount of
Big oof.
terrain.
Okay.
Whoops.
Oh, wait. I have greater effect. Does that play into bonus die or anything?
No.
Okay.
Greater
As
effect
leading-
never gives you more die, I don't think.
Since it's a group roll, I don't know if it would like.
I don't know how it would interact with that, to be honest.
At least I got a 4.
Okay,
As leading the group, I don't have to input anything different,
you
right?
roll.
You-
Yes, you still
Yeah,
have to
you
roll.
still roll, but you don't do anything different.
Okay.
You'll take 1 stress for me failing, and
She'll take a stress if she fails too,
I succeed.
but you succeeded, so you're fine.
so you just take 1 stress for me.
All right,
Cool.
y'all climb down. Dermot kind of gives you a look like we good, and
Yeah.
then
I give him like a little wink.
and then he kind of nods and he starts making his way downstairs. As y'all go back to that window that you first climbed from and climb right back on out. You're in the streets of Night Market suddenly with a couple important documents on your hands and a sense of elation that you completed your first heist. You know, the streets are bustling, market stalls are hawking their wares. You know, Night
I
Market
think
never really sleeps.
I take us to a nice little dive, and I buy us a round of
I
something.
know a really great party barge.
I don't want to get on your haunted
Not the party
barge.
barge.
Everyone's like, no.
Anything but the
I
party
don't know
barge.
you that well.
Okay.
I think I'll
Oh,
take
man.
that opportunity to like be like, hey, that went really well. Like we should make
Yeah,
a normal
I think we
hobby
should talk
of this.
that out. Okay, so
Do we want to
I-
take a short break before we do
Yeah,
it?
maybe let's take a quick break.
Okay. Yeah, short break.
Okay. Like 5-minute break?
Actually, this time.
Yes. 5 minutes?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm so proud of you guys.
We'll be back soon. And we're back.
Yay! We're back. Thanks again for hanging out with us. We've just finished our first score, and
Whoop,
oh
whoop.
my gosh, it was stressful. But they succeeded. They have the documents, the file on the rates that they were supposed to procure, and they're making their way through the streets of Night Market. They're lively, they're bustling. You see nobility in beautiful clothing and masquerade masks on them. People hawking wares, signs, and bright neon in many different colors. All sorts of people milling about. Night Market is one of those places that doesn't sleep. There's always something to be sold and something to be bought, as well as parties to be had. And I think Duchess had talked about buying around at a little dive bar, maybe.
Yeah, I think I want to just spring it on the girls. Be like, hey, that went really well. Let's keep doing it because I need more money because I'm broke.
Okay, so let's play that out. So you
Be like,
You're
we'll leave, and I'll
walking-
be like, you know, I just would like to catch a quick drink, maybe a refreshment. I know a great non-barge dive from here, not far from here. Let me
Quite a
buy you all
shame.
around.
Ekko's
And then I
like,
whisk you away.
yeah.
Whisk.
Whisk.
and she leads the way down a couple winding streets that she seems to know surprisingly well for whatever reason.
It's like I have underground maps and passkeys or something.
It's you're well
It's like you
frequented.
know the sewers.
I don't think y'all have those yet, actually, because you're not officially a gang yet.
Yeah.
But
Give us 5 minutes.
give us 5 minutes.
Give us 5
But
minutes, and
you
I'll
make your
download
way
that.
down and you find this dive bar tavern called the Oily Mushroom.
It's run by the gondoliers, but I don't pay them any mind. They seem to keep their distance from us. Just don't make a bad impression, I guess.
Challenge accepted.
Ekko suddenly looks very nervous. More nervous, at least.
Have I stolen the gondola yet?
If we don't have
Right.
our pass keys, we definitely don't have a boat.
I was thinking you'd already stolen it, maybe, but you weren't using it. I don't know.
Maybe we get drunk and I steal it.
Ooh.
Heist Part 2, Drunk Escapades, we steal a boat.
Yes,
Alright,
and
you
I'll
make it
sit you
into
all
the-
down.
Yep.
Well, I'm in disguise still, so no matter. It doesn't.
A
it's
blue coat
no
walks
matter.
in.
A blue coat.
A blue
walks
coat, a
in.
noble, and a woman wearing a spirit warden mask walk into a bar.
Yeah, you walk in, the bartender's kind of a gruff older gentleman who's wiping down the bar, and there's a couple different patrons. They look like regulars or else alcoholics who are just slumped over, basically. So it's relatively private, all things considered.
Mm-hmm.
And you go over to the bar and get a couple drinks from him real fast
Yeah.
and
then
talk
I
about your
bring
future.
him back, and I'm like, well, girls, ladies, that went marvelously. Must say I'm quite impressed with the both of you. You performed at a very high level, disregarding that one role, Ekko, where
Not
you rolled 2
optimal.
ones.
but good enough.
No. You
Good.
got us. The way you got us in was very creative, Ekko, and Sylph, the way you lifted that ring was very impressive. I could say I see a future with the two of you. Maybe us girls, maybe make a living out of this. You guys seem to be pretty available, and I definitely need the money, so what do you say?
I mean, I don't know. I
See,
have a
there's a
lot of
lot of-
purses to lift, but
Let's
This
see.
is definitely much more money than you're making lifting
yeah,
purses.
no, it's
Sylph,
sarcastic.
you could lift a bunch of purses and make what? Maybe a coin in a lifetime, or you could play in the big leagues and make 4 coin a night.
I was just joking. This is more fun anyway.
Okay. Humor is lost on me since my husband died.
I would be interested, but I have a project of my own that I might need some help with. Is that something that you're willing to allow?
If you become one of our gang, if that's what we're forming here, then your needs are mine, mine are yours.
Okay, I'm gonna call in that favor because the nobility and I have some things to be reckoned with.
I have quite the ear on the ground within the nobility. I'm sure I could help you out. And you seem to know your way around a disguise or two.
That's true. That's not all.
I'm sure there's much more.
There's much more to be found. But where are we going to be based? What's the?
Well, I would offer my mansion, but I was kicked out a couple nights ago, so that's no longer an option.
Okay, I think maybe you toast to that and you decide figuring out that is for another night. You've got a job well done, though not actually fully completed. You still need to destroy the document.
Yeah.
However you see fit.
Do we read it and then burn it?
Yeah.
I feel like once we toast to it, we're like, now let's look at those documents and like spend an hour or two scouring through, seeing what all the juicy stuff is before we.
And we're like, oh my god, who knew?
Yeah, it's not anything super crazy, but it does give you information on the score that the wraiths just did, and it details that a certain Leviathan hunter was robbed, and he lost a map, a very important map that showed specific locations where this ship was going to be hunting in the next season. So very important for the nobility to get back, which is why it was high priority, but also very niche item. And so it's high priority, and they were hoping they could get some stuff on the wraiths. But that's what they're distracted with at the moment.
Gotcha.
But you've just taken care of those files. Do you burn them, throw them in the water, rip them up?
We could provide them to the person who won this job, and then they could take them to the wraiths. That seems the most legit way, because then the wraiths can destroy them themselves.
No, Amancio is very.
I would
To
not
the
trust
letter.
Amancio.
He's just as likely to sell them back to the Bluecoats than to give them to the wraiths.
Okay.
And he asked me to destroy them, not to deliver them to him. So it would seem out of place if we were to do something else.
We are too eager.
Too eager.
Is there like a fireplace in the inn that we're in?
What if we just douse them with our liquor and light them on fire on the table?
Or that's cool too.
That would not be a good idea.
Maybe that's why the gondoliers hate us. We burnt down their bar and stole their gondola.
You get drunk, set the entire place on fire, and then escape in one
And
of
then
their
escape
boats.
in the finest gondola.
The
The
gang
finest
commits arson and boat theft.
Well, arson is a running theme in all of our games, so I'm
Yeah,
sure we'll get there
true.
eventually.
Big moves, big moves.
Is there a fireplace, I guess?
I think there is a fireplace. Somewhere to warm your hands on a cold night in
Somewhere to-
Doskvol.
Burn your incriminating documents.
Yeah.
So I think maybe you just
Like stick
wander
them in
over
and set them on fire, and then
toss
And
a
we're
few
like-
in.
toss them in. Yeah.
Foxfire gang.
The Foxfires are born. Level up. Okay, so y'all are officially a gang now. We can talk about how we got our tower later. I don't
Mhm.
think that's super important, though I think it'd be fun to figure out. But now we get to do all of our downtime stuff real fast. So
Yes.
first things first, you get payoff. So
Yes.
does someone have the crew sheet open?
I do.
That'd be awesome. Thanks. Okay, so we get, or y'all get, I should say, 2 rep per score by default. If the target of the score is higher tier, take +1 rep.
We didn't
You know, I
really
think
count
that
it
was
as a tier 3.
long. It's not going to be considered 3, but I will consider it 2.
We're currently 0, so
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm
Everything is
considering
higher
it
than
everything's
us.
higher than
a
us.
tier 2, so you get 4 tier total.
For
Okay.
for
For
XP.
rep.
For rep.
Sorry, 4 rep. I said 4 tier. My bad.
4 rep.
4
Okay.
rep total. Then you get coin based on the nature of the operation. I am gonna say it's a small job.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was your starting point, so you get 4 coin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Is it 4 coin each or just into the pool?
no, just 4 coin for the gang.
Is there a
And then I-
boss for the area? Where are we?
No, I'm gonna say there isn't a boss because the boss is the one who ordered you to do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it was on Wraith territory, and they're paying you to do it. So we'll
Cool.
assume it's kind of included already
Yeah,
in
that
the.
sounds good.
They decided this job was worth 4 coin, so that's what they're going to give you. So the way I would think of that is maybe 1 coin per person, and then 1 coin for the gang. Might be a
Okay.
good idea. All right. Now, you weren't entirely quiet, I guess, since there was evidence of tampering and so forth. So you do get heat. Let's see. I might
I mean, Sir
just
Arthur
say.
hates me now forever.
Oh yeah, he does. That's fun. I think I'm gonna give y'all 2 heat total
Yeah, that makes sense.
for a contained standard exposure. I don't think it was a particularly high profile or well connected target or anything. So you don't have to worry about that. There was no killing. Devil's Bark. I didn't do heat specifically as a Devil's Bargain.
Yeah.
I think, Sarah, you can add Sergeant Arthur as a contact and make him like a rival
In the,
for yourself.
in the cruise sheet or for me?
For you specifically.
Okay.
But I might make some like a clock for him or something to do more fun stuff. Okay, so now you have 2 heat, and now we roll entanglements.
Mm-hmm.
So, roll dice equal to your wanted level, which is currently 0.
Roll 2
and
and keep lowest.
You get to keep the lowest.
I'll do it. Oh.
4. Okay, rivals are unquiet and dead. Let's see.
Oh, was I muted when I said that,
Oh.
Abby? You can do it from the faction sheet. That's why I
Oh,
did
okay,
it.
cool.
Oh yeah, definitely unquiet dead. So because because Sylph did all of that attuning, you are now haunted by a spirit. You have killed people before, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's actually just random this time. But yeah, a rogue spirit gets drawn by your energy and is now haunting you. So you either need to acquire the services of a whisper or a railjack. Actually, well, it's haunting the group, I guess, as a whole, the gang. But it was drawn by Sylph. And you need to acquire the services of a whisper or railjack to attempt to destroy or banish it, or deal with it yourself. Which I believe would be a downtime activity, I think.
Will we have to deal with it, like, all 3 of us together?
No,
I feel like-
someone just has to pay the resources basically to deal with it.
Do you want to like start a 4 o'clock of like spirit banished or whatever? And
Yeah,
then we
that's
can
what I
either-
was thinking.
Okay.
And until that happens, it will cause you problems. So we've got 4 o'clock, spirit banished. Ooh, spooky. All right. So now you're a haunted gang. Isn't that fun? All right. And then you all get downtime activities. So you can pursue 2 downtime activities, and you can perform additional activities by spending coin or rep, which y'all kind of have I gave you a lot of rep, so that's nice. And yeah, there's a lot of options to choose from. You could try and acquire an asset for another mission if you thought it would be helpful. You can start a long-term project, or you can recover if you needed to heal from something, reduce heat if you wanted to reduce heat, of course, train, if you feel like you need more XP in something, or indulge vice, which I think all of you need to do probably to get rid of stress.
How much does indulge vice get rid of stress by? 4.
You roll your lowest resistance, and that is the number that you resist
Mhm.
or that you reduce.
So you roll your
Can
like
you
it's like
go
you
ahead?
don't get to choose, so you take the highest dice roll from your lowest resistance.
Yeah.
So instead of rolling any
So if you only
victories,
have one, it's gonna be that one anyway.
Yeah.
you just take
Yes.
that number. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you overindulge, it is not good.
Yeah.
I will do that. The next day I'll take some of my money and I'll go back to the theater and be seen there and indulge my vice that way.
I think
What a weirdo.
you also, by happenstance, see Amancio there as well. He greets you warmly and is like, "Oh, Duchess, you did such an excellent job, and it is just heartwarming to see you back at the theater. The world is right again. I cannot believe we had to deal with these ruffians without you."
Well, Amancio, me and some of my friends I made on this journey, we plan to keep going, so keep sending us the work you see fit, and maybe you'll keep seeing me here.
Of course, of course. You know me. If I have a job, I'd be more than happy to send it your way. And feel free to always come calling if you feel like maybe I've left you high and dry, because I would never dream of it. But the show awaits us, shall we? He kind of like holds out his arm.
We shall indulge this vice.
And indulge you shall. So you can spend a coin or
So I reduce it by 3?
Mm-hmm.
wait. Do you spend a
I don't believe so.
Oh no, you don't have to. Sorry. That's if you want to do extra.
Yeah.
Which I think I do.
You can just do it again as your second downtime activity.
Can
though.
I?
Yeah.
You could.
If you want to do
doesn't
more
say you
than
can't.
2 downtime activities, then you spend money.
I will just double up on this then.
So much opera.
She stays for
Wait,
the whole
actually,
opera.
I can give you another dice if you want.
Why?
It says for any downtime activity, take +1 die to the roll if a friend or contact helps you.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't
Say
Amancio
Amancio
help
helped you.
Oh, well, I'll just roll another die then and see what happens.
Four. There you go, one more.
Well, now I would overindulge if I did it, so I do not want to. Or do I risk it?
How many do you have?
3.
Oh, no, that's not worth it.
It's a 50-50.
It's so bad if you overindulge.
It's not that bad. I would just vanish for a few weeks, or
Simply vanish.
simply vanish. No, that's
Lost into the indulgence. Okay. So that's one of your activities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I assume
Anyone
everyone
else?
else is doing that as well.
Yeah, I would
I
recommend
am also
indulging.
going to make my way to the fist fights of Dunslow on the docks. All this excitement has got me worked up, and I just need to see a fight.
Nervous energy.
All
All
that
right, you
nervous
make your
energy.
way down into the rougher neighborhoods, into the fighting pits, as they call them.
Mm.
And you can hear the shouts as a match goes on below you. I imagine it's sort of like a submerged pit with a bit of like a fence kind of rail that goes up, and all the audience is raised above these fighters that are just in a kind of a small round sand pit. And you can already see, there's blood flecked everywhere. The guys are just beating the crap out of each other, basically, and the crowd is eating it up. There's roaring, there's yelling, and Sergeant Velk, I believe, is the proprietor, correct?
Yeah.
Sergeant Velk sees you, and he goes, he's you can tell he's like an old retired fighter, like a very crooked nose, kind of well beaten up. He's got like cauliflower ear. He's a guy who's seen some shit, scars everywhere. But he sees you and he goes, "Oh, look who it is! My little Scotland flower has found her way back to the dark pits of Dunslow. My. Got any more coin to spend, girl? You seem to be pretty lucky with that gambling of yours."
Velk, I'll never tell you my secrets. But I am.
He laughs uproariously and kind of gives you like a heavy slap
I'm
on
like,
the back. He's like, "Oh, well, keep your secrets as long as you keep stopping by. That's all I care about."
Yeah.
But enjoy the show, of course. I know I'll see you soon. They always come back once they get a taste for the blood.
Perfect. All right. Indulging
I don't
my
like your
vice.
vice.
I love him.
2.
You could indulge again if you'd like.
How do we know when we start overindulging?
So if you
It's if
clear
you
more than you have, like if you go past the point of having no stress, then
So if you have
overindulge.
4 stress left and you rolled a 5, then you would overindulge. There's no way. Unfortunately, there's no way to reduce or affect that roll. I don't think.
No.
I
By
mean,
spending coin.
technically, the odds are in my favor.
How many do you have?
4 stress.
You could do it.
Let's read overindulgence.
Yeah, let's learning
If
moment.
your vice roll clears more stress levels than you had marked, you overindulge. When you overindulge, you make a bad call because of your vice. You can, to bring the effect of this bad decision into the game, select an overindulgence from the list. You attract trouble, select or roll an additional entanglement, brag about your exploits, which causes +2 heat. Lost, your character vanishes for a few weeks. Play a different character until this one returns from their bender. When your character
Jeez.
returns, they've also healed any harm they had. Or tapped, your current purveyor cuts you off. Find a new source for your vice. So, I mean, you could do it. Attract trouble and brag aren't too bad at this point.
Yeah. Big moves.
Do it.
Big moves.
Do it. Indulging again. Can't get enough. Yay!
Oh.
It's also like yay, but why?
Yeah.
But, like, barely any. Hey, that's 1 assist, I guess.
All right. I am also
never know.
indulging my vice.
Okay, you indulge your vice. And who's your purveyor again?
Party
It's-
barge.
I know it's Party Barge, but who is
Arana
it?
the Blessed.
Arana the Blessed.
She's in the night market on a party
Blessed
barge.
by who?
On the party bar.
Blessed by he who walks in darkness. Sarah.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't like your vice either.
I like them both so much already. Okay,
I feel
Arana.
like the theater is secretly bloody. We just don't know about it yet.
Okay, so I think you make it to the barge. Per usual, you enter. You know, there's other people there.
Mhm.
A lot of them are cloaked and hooded, though they don't want to be known.
Yeah.
But this is very usual. That's just, you know, how it is when you're worshiping a forgotten god. And Arana is there as always, and she's kind of standing. She's just towards the front. This barge, it's odd. It looks much bigger on the inside than it does from the outside, and there are
TARDIS
many
barge.
doors. There's just like endless. It seems almost endless. Lots of doors and passageways and stuff. And you go over to Arana, sorry, and she sees you and she goes, "Oh my, the Sylph is back to visit. It's always a pleasure, and I know for a fact that he who walks in darkness sees a kinship in you. Now, I think I have something a little special for you tonight, though. Did we need a chance to talk to him?
That would be wonderful. I know he blessed me on my last expedition.
Of course. You are so devout. He blesses those that listen to him and that carry out his wishes. If you'll just follow me. And she's kind of wraith-like almost. She's very slight, small. She has sort of a austere hooded cloak, but you can see her face clearly. She's got short-cut black hair, very thin, frail, and kind of bony. And so she leads you down, and she leads you very windingly through this barge. Once again, like, this does not make sense with the space, but you know this. You've been here before. And Arana comes to one room, and she goes, she taps it a couple times. This is the right one. Clicks it open and just ushers you in before closing it and doesn't say a word. And when you enter, it's just pitch black.
As expected.
Yeah, pitch black. And you just know to sit down, and you enter sort of a meditative state, and then you receive visions for the next couple hours from He Who Walks in the Darkness.
Yeah. Perfect. Oh, that sucks.
2.
That's okay. I'm doing fine. I also want to acquire asset and see if Arana will help me get rid of this ghost that I've picked up.
Oh, definitely. Okay. That is a little more complicated.
Yeah. It looks like we roll the crew's tier, but I don't know. Maybe I do a long-term project instead, since it's like a more personal thing.
Okay, so
know.
we made a clock for the spirit being banished.
So I could do long-term project and then tick segments.
You're acquiring a service basically from her. Acquire the asset, roll the crew's tier. The result indicates the quality of the asset. Yeah, actually, I think you'll just have to roll the asset multiple times.
Okay.
Because you've got to fill the 4 clock, and the best you could get would be 3.
I was also going to do it, and then we also have a coin we can spend to get
3
rid of
fills, I think. So the result indicates the quality of the asset you get using the crew's tier as the base. 1 through 3 is -1 tier. 4 through 5 is tier. 6 is tier +1, and critical is tier +2. You can spend coin to raise the result of this roll beyond critical.
I'm not gonna get a critical though.
Coin.
Well, yeah, you can't get critical on because tier 0, I have to roll 2 and take the lowest.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a long-term project. We might have to look into that a little bit more, because that's a more complicated rule. But yeah, roll tier for that.
Yeah, so Abby rolls.
Not bad actually, 4.
And then this determines the tier of who she's getting help from.
Yeah, so they're tier 0.
And then they roll their tier to reduce our clock.
Cool. So I do it again?
You roll the NPC's quality level as a fortune roll to see how well they deal with the spirit.
Wow. Where did you get that information?
That's from
It's under Unquiet Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, in the longer ender. Oh, you're right. Yeah. So I think I think Arana is higher tier
Yeah,
than
I don't
that.
think I get Arana. I just look around on the party barge for people.
I think you try to find someone else, and
like
you
somebody
find
want to
another,
sacrifice the spirit to He Who
wannabe
Walks in
whisper.
Darkness, like anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, you find a wannabe kind of like cultist who's like, yeah, definitely, I'll help. I need to prove myself.
Uh-huh.
On a 4 or 5, we get someone in quality equal to our tier.
Yeah, so they're tier 0.
Tier 0.
I know, that's why he's very
He's
but
new.
can't you spend a coin or a rep
No, I don't think so.
You can
Yeah,
spend
after
2
the
coin.
roll, you may spend coin after the roll to improve the result level. You can get past critical if you spend 2, but before you hit critical,
Oh.
you only have to spend 1 coin. So you
Where is
could get
that?
a tier 1. That's back all the way under downtime activities.
Okay.
So you could take plus 1d if a friend or a contact helps you. So you could ask Arana for help.
Mm-hmm.
I
And I'll do
guess.
that, or I could help, and then this guy can.
And you can decide if you want to spend a coin to
After
increase the
roll.
level or
Yeah.
not.
We can always spend our shared coin
Mm-hmm.
to do it,
Yeah.
to increase it by 1. So they would be tier 1.
So for the roll, no, we don't spend. We spend a coin after he rolls to increase.
Well, you could increase your roll to get
Oh,
You
to get
better
it,
increase
tier.
your roll.
But then he's just gonna be tier
So then
1.
he's tier 1. Which means at least he doesn't take the lowest. It's not much better, but it's something.
Okay, can we do that, and then can I help him, and he gets 2 dice?
I don't think you can help on fortune rolls
Okay.
because they're not an action roll.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But
So let's do that. Let's spend the coin and then make it 1.
if you acquire the same asset again, you get a plus 1d to the roll.
Yeah, so I can come back to him.
Yeah. Maybe he's gotten better in the meantime.
Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna
Okay.
roll 1 fortune die.
Wait, are you spending? You spent the coin to raise
Yes.
your level? Okay, so he's tier 1. Yeah.
Yes.
So you roll 1 fortune.
6!
6,
Whoa! Good
nice.
job, cultist.
Awesome. He is very He's
such an earnest young...
He's so ambitious, yeah, and like earnest. He's just like giving it his all. Like that's just this is all he cares about. He's so desperate to please the cult. Yeah, and he does a pretty good job. He's weakened the ghost significantly, but you still have a little bit left. It's still hanging around. Or like he's set up all the runes and stuff. He's done all the research to set everything up to do the banishment. He just needs one last final bit of help or energy. A bit more time.
So is that 3
Should be, yeah.
Three
if I remember correctly, right, Logan?
pizzas? Can we give this guy a name?
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to name him?
No.
Okay.
Gregor. Gregor.
Gregor the
No.
cultist.
Gregor. I don't like that. What's a good one? Any...
Edward?
Vlad.
Vlad. Arden.
I like
Arden
that. That's
cult.
good. Cool. Sweet. And those are my 2. And then Logan, you have one
You're
more?
muted, Logan.
Time out. Time
Do we want to
out.
put Arden on the cruise contacts?
Yeah, you
or
can add
just
him in
yours?
there.
Do you want to
he's-
share, Abby?
He's neutral. at
Are
the
you
moment.
ever going to come to the party barge?
No.
I'll put him on my list.
We're all like, never.
Sylph or Ekko did indulge twice.
Yes.
Correct.
Oh, so I have one more. Yeah. I'll train. I'll train
Okay.
prowess. So I get 2 because technically our crew has prowess training.
It does. You're correct. Okay.
And I believe I just get it.
Yes, you do. You don't have to roll anything.
I think I will spend my coin, my personal coin, to do an additional downtime activity, and I'm going to try and acquire an asset to like maybe
Okay.
she got it all set up, and now I'm gonna acquire somebody to get rid of it entirely.
To do the last little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So you got to roll to acquire asset.
Yes.
Did you spend your personal coin too? Make
I
sure
did.
you note that.
Yeah. And so this is just a,
Fortune roll
or this is equal to my tier, yeah?
to
Yeah.
the gang's tier, which
To
is
the
0.
gang's tier, which is 0.
So roll from the gang, I guess.
2.
2.
2.
So it's a
So,
-1.
-1,
Which I
which is
guess
0.
Yeah.
I'll
But-
rule is just still at 0.
Or
Yeah.
I meant like it's 0 effect, so I don't think it
You think
can
it's
have
0
it.
effect?
I have no. I
'Cause you
believe
still-
so.
I mean, it doesn't
mean,
say
it's-
anything
It
specifically.
doesn't say anything.
Anything
You
about
could just
that.
rule it as tier 0 still.
I would rule it as just tier 0
Yeah.
still, because you still
Okay.
find someone no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it.
They're just pretty bad.
Okay, and then you need to do another 0 fortune roll.
Woo!
You just like
Um,
grab some rando on the street and we're like, "Do you know how to banish spirits?" And
He
they were like,
does.
A 4 is pretty good, yeah.
"Barely."
It's like I've done it once or twice.
No, really, really, yeah. You find this person. They're like, yeah, I guess. I mean, I had to do it one time for my great Grammy, but not much more than that.
Were
And
you
then-
banishing a spirit from her, or were you banishing her spirit?
Both. She just died. But then the person gets to y'all, and Arden has already set everything up so perfectly that they don't really have to do much work except attune and do the last little bit of getting rid of to get rid of that spirit. All right, so you guys have banished your first spirit. Good job.
Nice. Another soul for he who walks in darkness.
I don't think so technically,
Yeah, I know.
but it was a good start.
Good effort.
We'll get there one day.
Someday.
Okay.
Then we do XP and that's it?
Yeah, this has gone on a little longer than I thought it was. So we'll just do XP
We'll
and
get
then call
faster.
it. Yeah, we will. Also, we did that little extra thing in the beginning.
That's true.
XP. So, we'll just go through this slowly but surely. Y'all all marked your desperate rolls when they came up, correct?
1.
1.
Yeah, look, I didn't give you too many, so. All right, look at your playbook specific XP triggers, which I think are listed on your sheet in
Yep.
Roll20.
Yeah.
So
Did you address a challenge? Your character, you have to overcome like attempt to overcome a tough obstacle or threat with whatever your addressing
Yeah.
challenged one is.
mine is stealth or evasion, which I feel like I did multiple times.
Yes, I would give you 2 for that.
And then I specifically used both foresights for a calculation or a conspiracy
Mm-hmm.
with Darmont, and then with that other guy to leave the files by pinning them against the sergeant. Conspiracy wise.
That's cool, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think I'm leaning towards just 1 for that.
It occurred multiple times.
Okay, fine. We'll do 2.
And for me, it's deception or influence. And I was deceiving a lot of people.
Yeah, I would
Um,
definitely give you 1, I think.
Well, there was Sergeant Giles, and then there was the guy in the hallway that I had to deceive that I was a new recruit.
That's true.
So, like, or I was a transfer from a different station.
She did do it.
Okay, I'll give you 2 to make it fair, but for next time, 2 XP if it happened a lot.
Okay.
So that's for both you and Logan. Abby did do prowling a lot.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
That's-
she just rolls prowl and it counts. I
Yeah.
calculated all my rolls, so
Well, you
technically I
need
did
to
it
pick-
every time.
You need to pick a different type of
I'm just a stealthy
of-
girl.
I'm just
type
a
of
stealthy
mission.
girl.
Okay.
We'll be more deceptive, Logan. It's okay.
I'll just start verbally calculating everything.
That's not it, but okay. All right. Next up is you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
I don't feel like I did any of that.
Feel free to tell the group about them when you mark your XP.
So I think I have the Spirit Warden background, and I attuned a lot, like using that background knowledge to
Yeah,
disarm that trap.
I would give you that.
I used my nobleness to help get Sylph, not to get Sylph, to get Ekko on board, and then sort of my beliefs of like not betraying women, being trustworthy to get Sylph on board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll give you one for that. And Sarah, I'll give you one too because you used your background in piracy to get in the door for when you were first trying to convince them to hire you, as well as you mentioned wrecking for that wrecking. Wrecking was one of your background things for our first attempt against the locked
That's true.
door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one for both of those.
Y-
Since I
Ye-
didn't use it a lot.
Yeah, I'll give you. Everyone gets one
Yes, that's what I
within
meant.
that category.
Yep.
So you should be at 3 XP
Yep.
from end of game
See.
stuff. Okay,
And then
you
I don't
struggled with
think-
issues from your vice or traumas. I
Mm-mm.
don't think that happened.
No.
No. And then we also get different XP for our crew.
Yeah. Yes. So crews get a separate XP track. And crew is crew specific XP triggers, which for shadows are
Execute a successful espionage, sabotage, or theft.
yeah. Burglary, espionage, robbery, or
Yep.
sabotage operation. You did.
Yep.
Woo!
You burglared, right?
Did we
Yeah.
contend with challenges above our current station?
Definitely.
Yes. They were considered a higher tier than you.
Did we bolster our crew's reputation or develop a new one?
I think we were professional. We could have
We didn't-
taken those.
I mean, we
other
didn't have a
documents.
reputation to begin with.
You
Mhm.
didn't really have anything, so
That's
I'll
true.
give you it for establishing a gang.
Sure.
I'm loosey goosey with this XP.
Just
Did
give
we
it to
express the
yeah.
goals, drives, or inner conflict or essential
No,
nature
that
of the crew?
one we're
No.
done. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no on that one. All right. Yeah. Okay, and
Cool.
I think that's all the XP. Y'all get to place your end of session XP wherever you want.
Can
So
we do
that
that
can
now?
go into. You can, as long as you do it before next session.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
didn't
really,
know if
you
we
don't
could like
actually.
build it up and then throw it in.
Yeah, I mean, you could if you felt better that way, but I'd prefer maybe if you had it down session to session.
Yeah.
Because you'll also get the XP from the desperate rolls, so that could level you up suddenly.
That's true.
So try to have it picked at least by next session. It shouldn't be too hard, I don't think.
So we all have 3 XP to do with what we will.
Yeah.
But we leave those 3 down in the playbook advancement and then just put 3 more up here. Right?
No.
No. So playbook advancement is its own XP track.
But you also have 3 other XP tracks for each insight, prowess, and resolve.
Right.
And so when you do a desperate roll, it gets put under whichever roll you made.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get the end of session experience, you can either put it in your playbook advancement or you can put it in one of your other.
I
Yeah.
see.
So these end ones that I just gave you are technically free floating.
Cool.
But they're the only way to get advancements in your playbook.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them all in playbook advancement.
Yep, same.
So I need a whisper move. I need it.
I think I'm gonna put all of mine in prowess just because I
Yeah.
want to have 2 dice.
That's
Nice.
valid.
Or get a prowl.
Or get a prowl.
Yeah.
Either or.
Both are useful.
Cool.
Okay. That's that.
Awesome.
I think we will cut it off there, and I'll have a session ready for you guys and some starting situation stuff when we get back into it next week. No, sorry, not next week. Next 2 weeks,
Yeah.
I guess. Because next week we should be playing Dungeon World again.
Yes.
Right. Hopefully Logan will be leading us back into that lovely world.
Oh man,
Which is pretty
Nari has a
exciting.
level up coming up. I'm excited.
I gotta remember what's happening.
Yeah, everyone might need to. We might need to make sure John knows that's happening.
Yeah, we need to make sure John's still alive. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Did we sacrifice John to He Who Walks in Darkness?
I think we might have.
Did he wander onto the party barge?
That might have happened.
He got lost on the party barge.
He got
got
lost on the party barge. Friends, don't go to the party barge.
It's not a party. It's just a barge.
It's just I love all of the NPCs I've made though already.
They're pretty great. I love them.
Yeah.
The voices are gonna be hard to remember, but I do.
They
like
always
them.
are.
Okay, so I don't think we have anything super important to add other than that. Have a good holiday because this
Make
is
big
right before
moves.
Thanksgiving, if you're celebrating. And thanks so much for staying with us. We can't wait
Bye.
to see you again. Bye, everyone.
Bye.